Stop.
Gotta do it hella big, had to run it back again. People in the back, get 'em up. Boy, time for the people in the back, get 'em up. Boy, time for the people in the back, get 'em up. Boy, time for the people in the back, in the back, in the back. Put the people in the back, 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 back. Put the people in the back, 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 back. Put the people in the back, put the people in the back, put the people in the
And there we go. Hello, people. How are we doing? Good evening. Hope everybody's had a good day, especially after that England game last night. I'm already sitting here sweating my absolute bollocks off because it is still bloody hot in this place. I feel like I'm sitting in an oven. But one thing I can say, with this weather, sitting here, talking about Spurs, sweating off, it definitely helps you lose a bit of body weight. I reckon by the end of the show, I'll go from about 12 stone 6 to probably about 12 stone 2. We shall see. And that will end up with a very sticky chair. But that's a different story. I mean, that England game last night, Ben, you didn't even get to watch it, did you?
No, mate, not for me, but not for me. It's I'm a Spurs fan. I can only take so much heartbreak when it comes to watching football, mate.
I understand that, but fucking hell, man, you missed a game and a half there. That is one of the best games that I've watched since, not last season, season before, when I watched Inter Milan beat Barcelona. I mean, 2 players on that team totally shut me up. I mean, Bellingham, I think he's an excellent player, but I don't think he's world-class. I think he's a bit overrated, and fuck me, last night he was world-class. And another one who done that job last night, you can say pretty much all of them did, but what's his name who went Barcelona?
Gordon.
Gordon from the
who I was convinced was Scottish, by the way.
No, it's probably just a haircut.
Oh.
And do you know what? He had a banging game as well. And, mate, you missed out on a banging game last night. Seriously. But with that one, with how we're going at the moment, how do you make out with the transfers so far quickly? And where do you think we're going to go quickly? And then there's a big point I want to get to.
Yeah, go for it. Look, for me,
I haven't heard your side on all of it, basically.
Yeah. No, of course. Look, for me, the signings we've made, I'm on cloud 9. I think today is a good day. You know, we've smashed it out of the park, and I hate to say it, but Enoch looked like they're keeping their end of the bargain. So, you know, we've brought in, 5 or 6 players now, something along them lines. I'm losing track. That's how many signings.
6 at the moment.
God damn. Look, you know.
And 3 of them are for the first team.
Well, at least. Who have you got? So, hold on. So, you've got Dubravka backup. Dubravka, Senesi.
Backup, really, at the moment.
Yeah, for sure. Robinson, Tonali, Fernandez.
Yeah.
Am I missing?
So Tonali, Fernandez, and Van Hecke, first team straight off. In my opinion,
yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And then the other universal players that we will be using as such, depending where Romero goes. Yeah. And the news is actually coming in today that it is actually true that Barcelona want him, which I must admit I'm pretty shocked at. You know, I do not rate this fella by any means or manner, except on his day, just as lack of days. But Barcelona are willing to put in a bid for him, but they're just not willing to pay the sort of money that Tottenham want for him.
What do you think Tottenham want for him, and how much is too much?
Oh, do you know what? Like I've said, give me 40 million. I'd drive him there in a car myself, mate. I just really think he's bad news. I just really don't think he's got the right mentality for it. I don't think he's got the right skill for it. Everybody's earned it off me before. Sooner that fella goes, the better. But on his day, quality player. But I'd accept 40 million. But I know other people will say 60, 70. Same as some people rate Van der Ven at 100 million. You rate Van der Ven very highly, don't you?
I do. I see. I mean, you've spoke about it several times. It's not that I think he is worth 100 million. But in today's current climate, in today's market, I think he is worth 100 million. You know, I think he's a solid defender. His speed is unrivaled. I think I actually read somewhere. I think Van der Ven is the quickest Premier League player of all time. I'm sure that's what I read.
He's definitely up there.
For sure, for sure. So again, I look at examples like Wesley Fofana going for 70 million. Come on now. If Wesley Fofana is 70 million, then Van der Ven's got to be 150. You know, for me, in this current climate, mate, he's got to be 100 million. I'd be very surprised.
Do you know what? Maybe my biggest problem with it is I still try to look on football realistically. And realistically, he is not fucking 100 million. Realistically, Tonali is not 100 million. Realistically, Fernandes is not 85 million. But when we look on the market, the way things are, mayonnaise should not be £5.50. You know what I mean?
It's a good point.
You know what I'm saying? So in that aspect, for me, he's just not worth that. But I do understand the way the market is just that mental at the moment. And do you know what? With us getting, I mean, for me, going on the Van der Ven thing quickly, as soon as we just mentioned it, the thing that definitely puts his price up and stands out of him is his pace. It's his pace that really stands out for him. The rest of him, I think he's a solid defender, nothing special. In the air, pretty poor for a player his size. But I think his pace that really puts it on him. And his ball playing defender skills really aren't bad. And I still don't think he plays bad at left back when he plays at Holland either. It's just some people say with his dodgy hamstrings and that, it might not be the best place to do him on. Even though, do you know what? I would not mind Spurs giving him a go there just to see what he's capable of at Spurs there. But would that be a risk in that aspect? But with the market the way it is and the prices the way it is now, you know how Arsenal sort of went out. No, let me go back further than Arsenal. You know how PSG went and basically fucked it up for everything else when they went and bought Neymar for like, what was it, 180 million or whatever it was.
It was something in the region of 200, wasn't it? It was something around there.
Do you think that fucked the market up for everyone else, basically? Like, just off the top?
Do you know what? Funny enough, actually, the club I blame for fucking the market, if I'm honest with you, is Manchester United with Paul Pogba. I noticed a massive inflation after that. That's the club I actually blame for. At least that's what I've seen in the Premier League. But ever since they bought Paul Pogba for, what was it, 87, 90 million? It was
about 85 off you, wasn't it?
There was just mass inflation all of a sudden, and players started going through the roof. So if you ask me what club I blame, it would be Man United, mate.
But things did slow down for a bit, sort of thing, and come back down to a bit of a, I say normal price. I mean, what do you call a normal price in football? Is any player even worth £1 million? Should not be, but we know how life is. And then I think Declan Rice going for 100 million sort of spiked it back up again. Sort of put the prices back up for a few things again. So the point I'm going to, do you reckon the fact that we've basically just paid 100 million for Tonali and 85 for Fernandes, do you reckon that's just going to make this transfer window a bit of a nightmare?
Say that one more time. Say that one more time. Just one more.
The fact that we have actually officially signed Tonali and we've seen him in the Spurs shirt and speak on there for 100 million. Do you think that's sort of and 85 for Fernandes? Do you think that's going to be like a bit of a fuck up for everybody else in the aspect of like people are going to sit back and say, well, if you got 100 million for him, he might only be worth 40, but we want 80 million for him, basically. Do you think that's just going to have a rollover effect sort of thing? Do you think it's Spurs that have done it this time?
I mean, do you know what? The way I see it now, to be honest, is, and I'm, it's just how I see it. For 20, 30 million, you're getting a less than bang average player. For 50 to 60 million, yeah, for sure. For 50 to 60 million, you're getting a decent player. But you want top quality like your Tonalis, like your Rices. You are paying in and around the bracket of 100 mil. And sort of to go off what you said, I think that is pretty much just how football's gone now. Because I think they base prices off money made, no? So
income as well.
A lot of money in football. This is it. There's a lot of money in football. So when people say to me they can see it crashing, I can't, because the amount of money these clubs make is preposterous. But yeah, I know what you're saying. I don't agree with it, by the way. It's not something I think. No,
I don't think anyone agrees with it that it's right. But that's just life, isn't it? I don't think anyone agrees that a one-bedroom town.
No. But funny enough, do you know what? This might be a crazy take, but I also think that's why the game is gone. Because you've got to think, all these rules were implemented into the game, all these crazy rules that, protect the players and the assets, because at this point, they're no longer players, they're assets. But yeah, if you think about it, when money started going crazy in football, that's when football became kind of dry lunch. You lost the crunching tackles. The ref was blowing the whistle every 5 seconds. I watched the other day Spurs versus Chelsea in that League Cup final.
Okay.
It was nothing like the football today. Nothing like the football today. This is what I'm saying. Like, it was real football. It was continuous. The ref really barely touched the fucking whistle. So I think it's damaged football a lot. The amount of money that's coming, and I for one don't appreciate it.
It's where football is a business now, isn't it? The business is actually bigger than the sport. I mean, that's how I see it. The business is now, football is more of a business than it is even a bloody sport. It's like you say.
Yeah.
When Juventus signed Ronaldo for 75 million, and you think of the age he was at the time and that, and then they went and made that back in one fucking day in shirt sales.
Yeah.
One day they made 75 million back on that. And that's where it goes from there. So with Tonali, as a player, I must admit, I'm over the moon with, yeah? I've followed him since Italian football. I know you follow your Italian football, where you got the Italian blood in you, same as me and that. And even though I really don't like AC Milan at all, I despise them. I'm an Inter fan, but I will not deny AC Milan have had some of my favourite teams of all time, some of my favourite players of all time. That's where one thing, as a Spurs player, I will admit, one of my favourite all-time players is an Arsenal player, Patrick Vieira. And I can say that because he went to Inter Milan. So
the only reason.
Yeah, exactly that. Same as my idol player is Roy Keane. I used to imitate him on the pitch, basically. Roy Keane, for me, is he's my idol player. I just loved the way he played, loved his attitude, loved everything about him. Nasty bastard on the pitch. If I ain't getting you, I'm getting the ball. Either way, yeah. Now, with Tonali, I've said this to a few people, but a lot of people don't really know because they don't really follow anything bar the Premier League, and then some follow Spanish, some follow Italian, but it's mainly just the Premier League. And that's no disrespect to no one, whatever. It's just the Premier League is the league, and everyone follows their league, basically. Not many others stretch out that far to watch other games as such, unless it's in the Champions League. Now, for me, Tonali is a player that hasn't quite lived up to his expectations. Because at AC Milan, he was called by AC Milan players and by other team supporters and everything else that he had the potential to come on as the next Pirlo. And people have said to me that's not true. And I'm saying, well, you obviously don't know nothing about Italian football and you never watched it in the past.
He was dubbed the next Pirlo, 100%.
Exactly, he was. Whether he had the capability to do it or not, either way, that's what he got dubbed as, the next Pirlo. And I don't think he hasn't definitely lived up to them standards yet. He's got a long way to go. We know he's got time on his hands basically as a player where he is going to improve, I think. But I do think going to Newcastle, the way they actually played him held him back from what he's actually best at doing. I mean, do you remember how he played at AC Milan?
Of course I do.
Because he did play very different. Played a lot deeper, not just, a lot more.
No, yeah. No, listen, I agree wholeheartedly, but I don't think it's just Newcastle and the way they used him. And Dan, you know this as well as anyone else. In Serie A, you've got way more time to be expressive, way more time, whether people like to admit it or not. And I do think you do, don't you, really and truly? So, you know,
do in Europe, full stop. In any other league,
100%. Yeah, 100%. So I think he's obviously had to, and it's props to him that he was capable of doing it because he's still regarded as one of the best well-rounded midfielders in the Premier League by none. You know, he's fantastic. But the fact that he was able to adapt and sort of change his game to suit the Premier League, I think is mightily impressive. But you know, when you say when you say yourself that you feel like he's not quite, you know, that dubbing of the next Pirlo hasn't quite come true. I mean, it's fair because it hasn't, but I do think it's circumstantial as well. Had he stayed at AC Milan, I think you probably would have seen more of that from him, you know, at this stage in his career. But I don't think You know, this is no doubt that Pirlo probably still could do it in the Premier League, but I think the amount of time you've got on the ball is mere seconds. You know, I don't think you would see that from him in the Premier League. It's just my opinion. But yeah, funny enough, after I watched all that stuff on him today, this is a little fun fact for you as well. You'll probably be interested in this. Do you know who his idol is? His footballing idol is? Now, you would naturally think, because he was dubbed the next Pirlo and had been since he was 17, you'd naturally think it would have been Pirlo, right? I mean, he's got a similar hairstyle, It's actually Gattuso. How does that tickle you?
Gattuso was like, he was basically like the Italian Roy Keane, wasn't he?
He was a pit bull, mate. He was a pit bull of a player. He was
Exactly.
It was great. Loved him.
Excellent as a captain as well. Wasn't the most skillful fellow out there, but more than willing to take you out. He was just the same as a Patrick Vieira, just the same as a Roy Keane, basically. And I can easily believe that. I can easily believe that is how a player that he looked up to. That would not surprise
But do you not find that a little strange? Like, because he's a bit more of a, I don't know. I found that really, when he said that, I was like, what? I don't know, because
you expected him to look at maybe Pirlo as his player.
Yeah, or long, yes, or even like a Seedorf or something, you know. I just wasn't expecting him to say Gattuso. It took me by surprise, I won't lie.
No, I must admit, I get where you're coming from on that one. But I think with him, we're going to see a big improvement. I'm just going to say hello to a couple of people. And Pete, how we doing, mate? Big up, Dan. Yep, big up to you too, fella. Yep, I think you was right on what you told me about the England team last night. I still say on paper that is not the best England team I've seen in a long time. But yes, a couple of players on there shut me right up and played fucking excellent. And Carlos Blue, evening chaps and chat. Evening, mate. How you doing? And I'm not even going to attempt that one. I'll just call you Roz. And hey, lads, chat can't believe that we all have splashed some cash. Hope you're well. Hope you're well too, mate. Johnny, how we doing, mate? John Stokes, evening all. Dan, Big Ben, evening to you too, mate. And Carlsman Blue also saying Roy Keane is fully coy. He idolises Hoddle. Yep, that is his main man. He does absolutely support Spurs. And I still say, if he was a modern day player, he wouldn't last on that pitch 5 minutes. And that is just the way football has gone, like Ben was saying. And also saying, my Rangers mates still love Gatasso from his time in Scotland. He was a fucking good player. Another player that didn't really get the credit he should have got because he wasn't that skillful player. He was just that player that gets stuck into you. He was one of those players that if he was not on that pitch, then you would definitely miss it. You'd notice him more if he wasn't on the pitch.
He would do you, the striker, and the assistant manager. He didn't mind. He just didn't mind, did he? Remember that bust up the other Joe Jordan?
Yeah,
fucking
great player. Yeah, he wasn't the biggest fella either, was he? Bit of small.
He was tiny, 5'7", 5'8".
Yeah,
he wasn't big at all.
No, a bit of small man syndrome, innit? And Drooler, evening, Dan and Bench, evening to you too. Hope you're good. And Spurs syndrome. Yes, Spurs does affect you in a bad way at times, but hopefully it's going to be a good way now. Evening, lads. Ain't it nice to be putting our money where our mouth is for once? Yes, it does. And there is my perfect example of what has happened so far of money does fucking talk. And that is one thing I've been saying for a long time. Put the money on the table and you have a chance. And we have proven that. We have swinging a bigger dick than Man U, and we have also outbid other clubs that was interested in Tonali. And we're meant to be going toe-to-toe now for, what's his name?
Krupi.
PSG are meant to be definitely in for him.
Dan, can I ask you a very quick question? Sorry, this has just come to me now. It's something I do think you'll have a big opinion on. I wanted to ask you, right? So look, I've been losing my mind to some Spurs fans today because they're moaning, and it drives me fucking insane. Like, I just feel like you're being a miserable cunt for the sake of being a miserable cunt. I want to ask you, right? Realistically, look, Tonali and Fernandes didn't come to Tottenham for Tottenham. Would you say that's fair? If you agree with that, ergo, they are mercenaries. Do you care?
Yes. No, I do not.
No, neither the fuck do I. Neither do I. I don't care. Sandro Tonali is at Tottenham. You know, Fernandes is at Tottenham. These are two fantastic players. I don't care if they're here for the manager, their mum, their kid. I don't care as long as they're
I'm the
here.
same. I'm the same. Football is a very money orientated sport. No two ways about it. And do I think they're necessarily mercenaries? Quite possibly, possibly not. Do I actually give a shit? No, I don't. Do I really care if a player loves the club? I really don't care. I really couldn't give a shit whether
it's nice. It's nice.
Nice
When you get
okay.
that, it's nice, but
Yeah,
it's not a requirement, right?
but I don't care that if he leaves Tottenham, he goes and puts an Arsenal shirt on. I couldn't give a toss. As long as he does the job on the pitch, I really, really don't care. That's all I'm bothered about. I don't care what he does in the toilet when he gets to the back room. I don't care who he gets with. I don't care what he does. I don't care who he sports. I don't care what his political shit is. As long as he does the job on the pitch, why else should anyone care?
It's just not a thing.
No, but with a lot of people, it is. I mean, one question definitely want to ask on here, yeah. It's like you said, basically, and the question I'm asking here is basically what you just said. Spurs fans at war with each other. It never ends. Why is it there is always war at Spurs? And it's like I've told you for a long time, and even you ended up accepting it as well, that we have got probably the most divided fan base in football. I would say, yeah. There is nothing more divided than the Spurs fan base as a whole. Why is it everyone's always at war with each other? Why is it a majority of Spurs fans? I won't say all, because I know a few as well. But why is it a majority of Spurs fans? It's like when I look on X, watch YouTube. It's like when I mean X is just fucked up anyway. We know that.
Oh my god, it's a cesspool of yeah.
But it's amusing. And then also look on Facebook and stuff like that. As all I see is Spurs fans all the time at fucking war with each other. I mean, they say we can never be happy, yeah. But it seems like the second you have this is where I think it's almost political. The second you have a slightly different opinion to certain people, you get slated as anything and everything, and rated as anything and everything, and ripped into everything and that just because you have a different opinion. And that is what I mean by war. Why is it at Spurs? It's meant to be that everybody has the same opinion and everybody agrees on everything. Why is it if you have a different opinion at Spurs that it always turns that 9 times out of 10 it turns into a fucking war? And if it was in a pub, someone would probably be getting a broken nose.
Do you know what? To be fair, on a personal level, it's probably one of the things I dislike about YouTube the most. You know, you cannot have an opinion and someone's got to prove you wrong. It's very, very fucking irritating. But to answer your question, I can't really do so. I mean, look, it could be a number of reasons. You know, attention seeking, delusion. I don't I don't know. I really don't know. There's definitely no solidarity. I mean, today, I won't mention names, but you know who you are. I was in one of the chats with the lads, and I think it was Stell's chat. And we had someone, you know, complaining that he wants the entire slice of the cherry pie, not just a little piece of it. Little clue there. It was blowing my mind because, like, for me at the moment, this is the best I've felt being a Spurs fan for a long time. And we haven't even played a game. You know, things at the moment are absolutely, I'm on cloud 9. And I feel like a lot of other people are too. But, no, there are those fans out there that I think, and again, it's separate really because they're either too easily pleased or they're never pleased. And I think there lieth the problem. There is no solidarity within the fan base. And it, quite frankly, makes me want to smash my head off a wall. But you tell me, mate, if you've got a reason as to why, then please. Because I got nothing.
I mean, just a quick answer here. Like, Dan, what is the average age of your audience? From last time I looked, it's between 35 and 45 is the main audience I do have. And then you've obviously got the ones, couple of 18 to, 21, couple of 20. But it is mainly 35 to 45 now. And Sonny's saying, I got that tune in my head now. I don't know. Do you mean the tune of the intro, or do you mean a different tune? But either way. But look, here's the link. If anyone wants to come on here,
oh dear,
feel
he's found
free.
me. He's found me.
You're more than welcome. If anyone wants to come on, you're more than welcome to give an opinion on this one. I mean, Destiny, evening ladies, how you doing, mate? Like I say, if you want to come in, anyone wants to come on and say their fucking piece, just say it how you fucking see it. I honestly don't care. Everyone
Alex,
is allowed.
please get on. Alex,
opinion.
please get on. Please get on. Please get on.
You're not offering Alex out, are you?
I want to hear his explanation live on air, because there is no excuse for the shit he was coming out with earlier. Bless you, Alex. It's all in love, by the way, mate. It's a joke. But yeah, you see a minute ago, say my name. I love that guy. But yeah, he's
a brilliant fella. He's a brilliant fella.
Drula's 49.
Oh, well,
she don't look 49.
Not in that picture. Fair play to you.
Whatever
That's
you
all I
want
can
to
say
drink,
with that one. Isn't it? Dietrich, how you doing, mate?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm all right with things at the moment, especially after the England game last night. I mean, and then having to get up very early and do a lot of things and whatever and that, which I did not intend to, with like 3 hours fucking sleep. And but it was a game worth watching at the end of the day. I mean, you watched that, didn't you?
Yeah, it was a sick game. Thank God we don't have the same time zone.
Yeah,
and I know you. I know you guys were stressed when you were like 3-1 up, and then they almost tied at the end. What is what it is, but I know Benji's happy because I know he's not happy this next season because we don't have what's his name, Thomas Frank.
You gotta let that go, mate. You gotta let it go. It was a reasonable deduction. It was a reasonable deduction.
Mate, Benji, I know I love you to death, but that was one of your worst takes you ever did. Ever said.
I got a few, mate. I got a few.
I mean, Dietrich, so the question I'll come with you at, is what I'm asking Ben about, yeah? I was hoping to have a slightly bigger show tonight, but obviously there's other shows on out there tonight as well when you do have to compete, and at the end of the day, you have to say, do you know what, fuck it, I'll just do the show anyway. Why do you agree with this, Dietrich, that Spurs fans are probably the worst fans out there for always being at war with each other? There can hardly ever be a conversation on anything. It's almost got to be fucking political. If you have a different opinion to someone, we'll say, I'll call it a 7.5 people, you're going to be going toe-to-toe with them, like if you just disagree with them or slap their wife's ass in the pub. And why are Spurs fans like this? Or is this just me seeing it like this?
No, you're not wrong in seeing this those ways, but that's more society in the sense like, well, you don't win in life or you don't not as successful as someone else, you're probably gonna start hating or just start like labeling other people. And if you look like other fan base like Chelsea, City, or even Man U back in the days, they were always united because they were winning trophies on a regular basis. And when you look at us, it's like, for example, have you? I'm sure you guys already had like this situation in the past. Like, let's say if you bought like, let's say, a nice watch, they would say, "Oh, did you steal it?" They would make like that joke. But once they see your consistent success, that's when they'll be like, "Oh, actually, this guy's doing well for himself." I think that's the only issue with Spurs. Until we get the, let's say, I'm hoping one day the Premier League, or we win trophies like other trophies on a regular basis. That's when you're not gonna see that this fan base is so divided. So I think it's more about success and mentality. Because if you,
go on.
Sorry, not last thing. Because even if you look at Man City, Man U, their definition of success is winning trophies, but Spurs is totally different. One side says being in the Premier League, other says in the Champions League, other says winning a trophy. It doesn't matter where we finish. So until we agree on one thing, that's when it's always going to be divided.
Yeah, but why can't a lot of people, Spurs fans especially, because I do watch other channels. I mean, not very often, but I'm on a couple of them as well. Catch, big up to you, fella. Always love going on your show. Always amusing, to say the least. And top fella as well.
Lovely.
Even though he fucking robbed me of 200 quid because Arsenal won the league. But fair play.
Did you pay him?
Yeah, of course I paid
Did you pay
him.
up? Did you?
Yeah. I always pay him.
Unlike Stefan.
Yeah, unlike Stefan didn't pay me and then just fucking disappeared, the prick. Yeah, but and you know, just pops up in WhatsApp now and again, says he's bit and fucks off again. It's like, mate, you've owed me 200 quid. You've owed me 100 quid for like 2 years, whatever. And yeah, but that's just what some people are like. I'm a person that I know this might sound cheesy, like out of Game of Thrones, but I pay my debts. I put my money where my fucking mouth is. I'm willing to put £100, £200, £500 debt on, and if I lose, I will pay my money. Again, there's a lot of people who all like to be all talk and no action. And I do get where you're going with Dietrich. It is a very maybe if do you know what though? No. If we was all winning something, Spurs fans would still find something to kick off about. They would still find something to fight about, not just debate about, but fight about.
No, but winning on a regular basis, that would take a good 5 or more years for the mentality to change. It's not overnight. Just perfect example. Look at Man City. Do you see a disagreement? That's why nobody watches their YouTube channels. Because they agree on every single one topic. But us, like legit, all three of us, we're probably going to find a disagreement somewhere.
Yeah, but it doesn't mean it's going to have to turn into a fucking tear up, does it?
Yeah, but boys, do you not think now of all times, there'd be some solidarity? Because there clearly ain't.
Not yet.
Because
Not yet.
Here's the thing. We're signing players, right? Whether you like to admit this or not, we're signing players we've got no right to sign. No right to sign.
Benji, I know Twitter is not the metric. I'm just using it as example. I've seen so many people cry about Mateus Fernandes and Tonali for the price we paid.
Mate, they don't watch football.
And now they're saying, "Oh, where's Bergvall gonna play? Where's Archie Gray gonna play?" Like you see, like you're always gonna find people like that.
Do you know what's funny, right? I said this. It all kicked off outside my house yesterday, and I was speaking to this fella, and mate, don't getting words around here. And I was speaking to this fella who's a Man United fan, and I said, "Do you know what, right? If Man United signed Mateus Fernandes for 85 million, no one would batter an eyelid. If Liverpool signed Tonali for 92 million." No one would batter an eyelid. That's my honest opinion on it. I really don't think they would. I think there'd be a few murmurs maybe, but you know, look at all the pundits at the moment that are driving us into the ground. Spurs, look at Simon Jordan, and he's usually someone I really like as well. You know, like Spurs don't know what they're doing. It's chaos at that club. It's insane. But going back to the original point, I just, if you can't be happy and you know, sort of together in moments like this, then fuck me, I don't know what to say. I don't know.
But I'll say one thing regarding that point, Benji. I'll be happy when we sign the proper forwards, because we started well. For me, it's like, for example, like let's say the Canada game versus Morocco. For me, I don't care about the start. For me, it's the finish. We started well. We got Tonali, we got Fernandes, we got Van Hecke, we got Senesi. That's good. But now, go get me those forwards, and then at the end of the day, I'll be like, actually, I'm not going to be negative. We bought a proper team, proper squad. Now it's on our manager's head. If he fails, that's on him. And I can, as much as I didn't like Thomas Frank, he wasn't back properly. But now this guy, if he gets his players, all eyes are on him. And that's the first time I can ever say that to a manager in my lifetime.
Yeah, you're right.
You can say he's actually been booked fully. I mean, I thought Ange got back to an extent, and then in the
not
end,
to the levels.
Get back. No, but I'm saying to it. That's why I said to an extent. And then, but no manager has ever been back to the way we have at the moment.
Because look at it this way.
Hang on, Dietrich. I just want to go back to this point of Spurs fans always fighting. Yeah, and it's like what you just said. Yeah, perfect example of what you just said. You just said you're extremely happy with what we've got so far. Basically, you've just said to me, so far, so good. Yeah?
Yeah.
But then you go and say that you now want this, and this.
Yeah.
You'll have a significant amount of Spurs fans, a significant amount of YouTubers or other people, and say, like, what the fuck is your problem with the world? Why can't you just be happy with what you got? Why can't you just shut the fuck up? You're not a Spurs fucking supporter. You're just problem. You're here to cause issues. You're here to cause arguments. Why aren't you actually allowed another opinion? It's like when I said when we got Fernandes, I mean, the way Ben went off on the phone about him to me and the way others told me about him, I was like, fucking hell, where we just like basically signed Messi. And I must admit, I haven't seen enough of him to judge him fairly. Now, I said there was a player I would have rather have gone for, and that was Manu Kone from Roma. Again, people don't follow other leagues yet. Anyone who does follow other leagues will understand what I say, because at the moment, I think Kone, personal opinion, is actually at this moment in time better than Fernandes or Tonali.
He's killing our friends.
Man United are looking at him, Dan. That's Edison and possibly Kone.
I know, yeah, but Man U don't want Edison. The fans ain't liking that. But the point I was getting to with it was just something I said, like, and I don't care. Anyone can come for my throat all they want. You ain't gonna fucking cut it. You can try it, but it just won't happen. Yeah, I will just laugh. I just said that he's just a player that, for the money we paid, I don't care what the money we fucking paid. It ain't my fucking money. I've said none of the players are worth the money we paid, but it is what it is. It is the fucking market. Yeah? I just said it was a player I would rather we would have looked at, because it's a player I personally prefer. Yeah, and I think we've all got that with players we personally prefer, but none of us are going to argue that the signings we've made are fucking quality. Yeah. But why is it with the Spurs fan base, if you even have a fucking different opinion, some people have a complete and utter meltdown? And if you try and explain your opinion to them, you might as well talk to a fucking brick wall and headbutt it 3 times. Ellie, how are we doing? What's your opinion on what I just said there?
All right. Yeah, I won't be headbutting any walls, just put it that way.
No.
Right, so,
I know that.
I haven't got a tough enough head. Right, so I personally think we've made 4 good signings and 2 duff ones in terms of Dubravka, because he's 37. We could have gone for a younger goalie who's a little younger, like in terms of 27, 28, 29, that sort of age, and more established in terms of the amount of games they've played in the last whatever years, because he hasn't played that many games really. He's always been like a bit part goalie for the last 3 or 4 years, right? Because he's getting older. He's 37. We made the same mistake with Forster, didn't we? And I'm not saying Dubravka's as bad as Forster, because he's not. But we could have even gone for Trafford, because he's 6'6". He's a unit, right? Someone who's a bit more established as well.
I don't rate Trafford.
But the thing is, he's an up and coming goalie, right? So we're taking a little bit of a risk, but we're doing that with Kinski anyway. So, but the other signing, Robertson, I didn't get really, because he's coming to the end of his career and it's just a paycheck for him at the end of the day, right? Because he's not going to get in over Udogie unless Udogie fucks up, really, right? And well, we've seen him fuck up quite a lot, so he might get some game time, but we've only got 1 game a week, so I didn't get that one. We could have bought a more someone to challenge Udogie properly.
Ellie, 1 second. I'm sorry to interrupt you. I need to stop you there. Catch, cheers for the send over, mate. And you know what? I hope you choke on that fucking £200, you Arsenal supporter. But love you to bits, mate. You're a top fella. That fucking £200 hurt. I won't deny that. I was expecting £200 back off it. This is the fella that done me for 200 quid. 200 quid. Yeah? Done me hook, line and sinker. I might as well have walked away like fucking John Wayne with that one. And I know he was shitting himself at the end of the season, same as I was. And he came off the better man with a bet, and he got the fucking money. So do you know what, fella? Fair play to you. You won that one. I won't be betting you again. I won't be betting you with Arsenal again anytime soon. Next time I'll try and keep it at 50 quid. But cheers for the send over, mate. Appreciated. Top fella as well. Love doing your shows as well, mate. Ellie, carry on what you're saying. Sorry to interrupt you.
I was just saying we could have bought somebody to challenge Udogie properly, because the thing is with Udogie, right? He's an athlete, right? And we've had a lot of athletes at Spurs who can't actually play football. I'm not saying he can't play football, but his end product is woeful, really woeful, right? And we can't carry players like that. We need, if we're going to properly challenge, because you're buying established players like Tonali, you've got a up-and-coming midfielder in Fernandes, right? He's shown prospects. right? And we've probably paid over the odds, like you said. But I just feel that we've got first and foremost we've got to strengthen the front line, right? Because with all these other players as additions, if you haven't got no one to bang it in the net, what's the problem? What's the point? Sorry. You know what I mean? You're going to do all that good work, and then you've got Richarlison and Solanke who can't finish their dinner.
I get with all that, but and I agree with what you've said on that, yeah. And there's nothing wrong with disagreeing. There's nothing wrong with debating on it or whatever else in that, yeah. But like what you just said about a goalkeeper there, yeah. The problem I have at the moment is Kingsley. I don't want him as the number one. I don't feel that 5 games justifies his number one. I feel it's basically exactly the same of what you have just said. Why did we go for the old goalkeeper, yeah? Now, I go and say that, and I've said that on channels. It hasn't been as bad on YouTube, but I went and said it on X. I went and said it on Facebook, and I don't deny it. When it comes to that shit, I love doing the trolling. It's just too much fun. It is too much fun that people can have just such a fucking meltdown on a comment you make, and you get like 100 abusive comments back at you because of a comment you made. And then I just put another little comment in there to just totally disagree with them, even if I agree with them, just to fuck them off. We all know how trolls work. I mean, no one can tell me trolling is not fun at times. It is, yeah. And I'm a top prick for it. I don't deny it. Fucking total prick for it because I enjoy it. But as soon as I start discussing that with a lot of people, Spurs fans again, you get a massive fucking meltdown over it, and it turns into a civil war again. This is what I'm saying. It's always a civil war. It's very, very rare Spurs fans can have a discussion. Now, there's nothing wrong with a debate, and there's nothing wrong with it, but it's hardly ever a debate with Spurs fans. It usually turns into a fucking war. Or am I just exaggerating?
No, you're not exaggerating. But one thing I would say, I've never been trolled on Twitter. Never. Maybe it's because I'm a woman. I don't know. Right? Maybe you fellas get it worse. Right? But I've never been trolled. But on WhatsApp groups, oh my God. They're so hard, WhatsApp groups, because there's a lot of people that just are very, very rude and personal with people. And I don't like that. So I called out a few people today, and I don't apologise for it. I don't apologise for it, because they should be called out.
Yeah, like that fraud box office or Mr. Cherry Pie, as we're now going to refer to now.
Queen,
I was winding up Alex today. I said cherry pie with custard and a cherry on top.
Ali, to be honest with you, your worst take was probably Hojbjerg is a good player. Since no one knew this,
I didn't say. I never ever said he was a good player. I said I like that type of player.
You like his style.
That's different, yeah. Because I like Paulinho's, and I like Fernandez's, and I like the guy you just mentioned,
Roy Keane, Scatasso, Patrick
Roy
Vieira.
Keane, yeah. I like the tough players. Graham Roberts,
The real men.
You know? That's because I wasn't that type of player myself, so I appreciate what they bring to the team. Yeah,
exactly. Ellie wants men, not boys. Exactly.
Yes,
Alex,
that's right. Well said, Dan.
And Alex, how you doing, mate? I hope you're good.
It's really good of me to chime in when the Queen is speaking, Ellie.
Come on, Alex, you're all right, man. Cherry pie.
Cherry pie Queen.
I just wanted to chime in because I just think I think this is an interesting show in terms of the topic you're talking about, and the way I would look at it, like, is it for me personally. We've seen it recently because I'm not the most popular Spurs fan. Well, Spurs YouTuber. At the moment,
you are with me, Alex. I love you.
I know, but I know there's a lot of people that don't like me for the amount of reasons. And one of the reasons that I think has come up is that what is the word? I'm not succinct. I'm not succinct when I'm speaking. Okay. And I sit there and think, I don't know whether, and I don't really want to bring up. I don't want to bring it up, but unfortunately, I have to bring it up. Maybe because I'm black. I don't understand it.
Oh,
come on, Alex. Don't do that shit.
don't
Come on,
fucking go
man.
there,
No,
man.
I'm just
No,
saying.
Alex, cut that shit, man. Come on. Man.
I'm just saying because I hear it so many times, and I hear
No,
it so many times.
don't bring that card. Come on, man. No,
You're
you're
my
better than
black
that.
brother.
No, come on, bro. You're better than
What
that.
the fuck are you on
no.
about, Alex?
No,
Everyone
man,
we
don't
drop
say
all the
that shit,
time.
bro.
Hey, to
I'm
say
just
that,
saying-
that's
Don't
pretty
go there,
fucking
man.
shitty, man. You can't.
Yeah,
Don't
it is
go there,
shitty,
man.
bro. Come on, man.
Don't seriously, bruv. Don't go there. Don't go there. Yeah, keep with the rest of what you're saying, but leave that one out of it. If you actually believe that, I get that. Don't fucking bring that one on here. Yeah, that's just total bullshit. And I'll say that to your face. No one gives a fuck whether you're pink, white, or purple.
But
Yeah,
I'm just
I
saying,
don't give a. I don't. Hang on, Alex. Yeah, no, I don't give a fuck if you want to call yourself a unicorn, mate. You're my mate. Yeah, people listen to you on here. If people did not like you, people would. You know, it's my
No,
mate.
no,
You
but
either
I'm
like
just-
you or you fucking don't. Don't bring that shit up on here.
No,
I don't like that one.
Okay, right. I tried to be a bit more. I was trying to say it in a diplomatic way, but I was saying it, and then you jumped on me straight away, and then
Yeah,
I
for
don't
bringing
think
that
you
one
did.
up. So
No,
go on.
but what I'm trying to say is right because I think people just jumped on that straight away and just didn't actually listen to the context I was going to say. So if you let me see what I was going to say first
Go on.
before you start saying the black thing, that's it. What I mean by that is that is there a certain type of way that you've got to speak? That's the thing. That's what I was saying. That's what I meant by that. You know what I mean? Because I don't get the whole thing why people worry about how you speak on a YouTube channel. I don't get it. You know what I mean? And that wasn't me having trying to what is it? De-advertise your channel, Dan. I'm just being
You ain't gonna
quite
do nothing
honest
to
with
mine,
you.
mate.
No, I'm just saying because the way that people now come at me straight away when I said the word black, I just like thought, no, I'm not having a go at people here. That wasn't me doing that at the end of the day, right? But what I'm trying to say is that why is it that it has to be? Why does it have to be about where you speak being a Spurs fan? I don't get it. That's where I'm seeing a lot of comments saying, "Oh, you're not coherent enough," and I'm like, wait a minute here. So that's no, but I'm just saying it personally for me. I think it's a bit rude that people will just come at me when I've just said the word black. Because if you know me, if you know Mr. Box Office, I keep things a lot I keep things very diplomatic. But however, because we're having a conversation right now about civil war and stuff. I'm only telling it from my personal my point of view, right? So I'm a bit disrespected. Actually, you know what? I'm gone. I'm done. Sorry. Bye. See you later.
That's how you feel, Alex. Stay, Alex. Stay, man. Don't go.
No. Hang on a second. No. If you want to go, Alex, then go. If you want to get your point across, get your point across. But let's say this in a different way.
Dan, so we cut you off. I think he forgot to kick himself out.
Gone?
Yeah.
Well, I'll put him in the back screen. Yeah. I mean, now, I think the point that Alex was trying to get at, yeah, I think. Now, not all of us speak with the best of terms, yeah? Not all of us speak in the best way. I mean, come on, I'll use someone as an example here, along with myself. Now, the person I use an example here is Mia and me. Me and Mia. Very similar the way we speak. Common as fuck. Do I give a fuck the way the way I talk, or what? Do I care that anybody thinks how I talk? No, I don't think that's nothing to do with it. I think that's got fuck all to do with the time of day. I mean, if you got one toffee nose prick on here who don't like the way you talk because they can say longer words than you and they got better spelling than you, I really couldn't give a fuck. Yeah, and I don't think many people. Alex, mate, I think he's just tried to bring that across and done it the wrong way, basically. And I think he's said it in a way that he doesn't necessarily mean it as such. I mean, one thing I can definitely say on here.
Dan, can I chime in really quickly? Can I just say, we all have on this channel, many other channels, our own stereotypes. Okay, I'm known for terrible takes. That's my little shitty gimmick. Dan is known for his fucking crazy ass analogies. Ellie's known for being loved because she's all lovely and sweet. And
be careful, Benji.
No one even likes Dietrich. We're not going to talk about him.
Kiss my ass.
I don't know why people think I'm lovely and sweet. I could be right bitch sometimes.
But here's the thing with Alex. Alex's gimmick is he goes around and around and around and around that roundabout and doesn't quite land his point half the time. But you can't come onto a show, and it's no disrespect to Alex, because Dan, you know I adore Alex. I think he's a great guy. And sometimes he does get a bit too much hate, but you can't come onto a show and say that, because I feel that's a little bit unfair.
Can I just get my point across with Alex? I think a lot. If we're just talking Alex, I think Alex, if you actually listen to the way he speaks, he makes some brilliant. He makes so much sense. But I told Alex a million times, when he talks as Alex, he is such a smart man, and it's insane. And I know a lot of people don't respect. I know, like, even me, I'll speak for myself too. People might not respect me, but do I give a shit? No. But at the end of the day, when you talk and you articulate yourself, he actually speaks a lot of sense. And to be honest with you, nobody actually disrespects him. No, everyone loves him in this community. If nobody likes him, no, some people do, of course. But it's like everyone. It's not fair to say, oh, everyone in this community is bad. No, it's like me. Some people don't want me on their shows, and that's fine. Fair enough.
You know what I get mostly from Alex? What I take mostly from Alex, he loves our club. He wants better for our club. He doesn't always articulate it in a way that he wants to articulate it. Sorry, and sometimes he gets misunderstood, right? Because he goes round the doors when he's trying to explain something. But when you actually listen to, like you said, Ditches, when he's Alex and he's articulating himself in a,
I told him a million times, be Alex, don't be
just be Alex,
I can't be on here long, guys, so I'm just going to quickly say my piece. I just heard what you said. Yeah, I'm common as muck. Me. I don't really care.
As me.
But same as me. The thing is, right, I don't think it's about maybe how you talk. It's obviously communication styles. Everybody communicates in a slightly different way, innit? Like, everybody's got their way of communicating. Some people are more straightforward. Some people go around the houses a little bit. Some people like to have analogies, tell little stories to show their point. So I think it's just the communication style maybe that Alex does, or Mr. Box Office does, when he comes on, that people misunderstand what he's trying to actually communicate. And you've got to just read between the lines of that. So I think that's all it is with Mr. Box Office. I don't think it's anything to do with anything, the way he talks. I think it's just the communication style that actually is the way that maybe people misunderstand him. That's what I would say. But that's for me what I view it as anyway.
Some people can just get to the point easier than others. Some people can just describe things easier than others. I haven't got a very good way of describing things. Some people really don't like the way I describe things and find it offensive. And at the end of the day, I still don't give a fuck. It's just my way of putting things across. Yeah. And if someone don't like it, they don't have to watch it. They don't have to do whatever. And I feel the same with anything. I think Alex was trying to just get a point across there. And I think he just went about it the wrong way, trying to get to the point. Alex, come back on, mate, and get your point across. But I'm going to put that bit aside with Alex now. That's done and dusted. I'll put that one under the bridge for the moment. And Mia, the thing I'm actually talking about here is, do you think Spurs fans are always at war with each other no matter what happens at this fucking club?
Yeah,
that it's very hard to have a debate without it kicking off, basically.
Yeah, it feels like, I know me and Drew kicked off the other day, Dad, about saying, but like, I think that people sometimes take it too far in it. Like we nitpick over silly things, I find, Tottenham fans. So it'd be like the smallest thing and we get aggy about it and end up in an argument about it. And it's just like, is it really worth like arguing about? So the other day on my show, I was arguing with somebody about the timing of concerts. Now, the fact is Tottenham don't decide that. The person who they say can come and do a concert, they have to have obviously the concerts put out way before they happen. So they decide the time that the concerts get advertised, not the club, and everyone goes absolutely apoplectic about it. It's like, oh, this is a bad time. Well, that's not really the problem of the person doing the concert, right? That's not their problem. So I don't understand why people go absolutely mental about it, and then there ends up being an argument about it. It's just really stupid. Like, it's silly things.
I mean, I quite enjoy a heavy debate. Yeah. I won't deny that, and I think everybody knows that. Yeah, I do love a heavy debate.
A masturbate.
Oh, that as well. But the thing is, with that one,
he might be a cunning linguist, but he's a master debater.
Yeah, I have a wife. I have a wife who does an excellent job for me, where I don't have to do that shit. And the showers are absolutely brilliant. She knows I love her, and
What is
a
wrong
wife
with
is
you?
good at what they do. And when it comes to that one, I'm good at my jobs as well. We both know our jobs at the end of the day, and that is how a husband and wife should be. You both know your place in the house and in the bed. And so when it comes to that one, I just feel some of the arguments do get a bit out of control as such, where it does literally turn into not far off a fucking punch up. Now, again, I love the debates on here. There's nothing wrong with a debate on here. But do you agree that basically with certain people you will talk to, others are obviously a lot easier than others. We know that. Some people are just easy to talk to. Some people, like I said, you might as well talk to a fucking brick wall because it's either their way or the fucking highway. We all know people are like that, yeah? But it almost feels at Spurs like you're not even allowed to have another opinion sometimes.
Yeah, but Joe, what done? It kind of works on the way of the like I know you're saying about people who are maybe too positive, but some people go really crazy and say you're not allowed to be that positive. But at the end of the day, I don't know why it hurts anybody. Like people's opinions don't hurt anyone. If they've got a different opinion because they think you were going to finish fourth this season, I don't know why that really harms anyone. If they want to be positive about it, cool. If people want to be less, like more cautious about it, so be it. People again, they just can't ever just settle with fair enough, that's your point of view. People have to have full-on blown rows about it because I'm right and you're wrong. It has to be a winner and loser, and like I just don't get it. Debates are debates and opinions are opinions. They're not right or wrong.
And sometimes you've just got to agree to disagree, ain't you?
Yeah, we do that a lot, don't we, Dan? We always agree to disagree.
At the end of the day,
what me and Mia do, we do it with humour. And it's that Greek humour, isn't it, Mia?
That's it.
Fucking hell, you're right there, Dan. You look like you're clucking a bit
You're
down
right,
the
mate.
bottom there, son. You good?
You cooking or something, mate?
How many Red Bulls you got through in the last 24 hours, bud?
Sorry, mate. I'm tired. Very tired. Very tired. Evening,
After
Dan.
last night. Evening, mate. Good to see you.
Yeah. Cheers for having me on. Benji, Dietrix, Maya, and Ellie, I think, as well, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, Ellie. Yeah.
Evening. Big up chat. Big up chat.
Do you know what I like? I like Scott M, right? He called Tonali a moron today. So I thought, no, my Tonali is not a moron, you shit face. I said to him. And then I sent him a video of Tonali with a really good song on it. You got to do it with humour because otherwise, if you're too serious about things, it gets too. It's just nonsense at the end of the day.
Not happy
All you're
Scott. I
arguing
can't
about
imagine
is
him saying that.
footballing. He's funny, Scott, isn't he?
Scott's just
Yeah,
Scott,
no, he's all
most
right.
people
Scott
are
is just
people.
Scott, isn't he?
I mean, so Dan, I'm going to ask you, yeah, as a Spurs community, do you think we are at each other's throats too much? Like it is always fucking civil war. No matter what we do, if you have another opinion, it's almost like you're not allowed it. Like, obviously, I'm happy with Tonali, I'm happy with Fernandez, I'm happy with this, I'm happy with that. But I suggested there was a different player that I preferred, and it basically not far off kicked off a civil war. And do you find it with the Spurs fan base, basically, compared to a lot of other fan bases, it's always got to be war? It's always a point scale. It's all either me or you sort of thing. Or do you see it a different way?
No, you're right. Look, it's chaos. Absolute chaos, isn't it? This is what it's always been like. And look, I got to be honest, like other Spurs fans do annoy me. Some of their opinions get on my tits. But you got the skill is, and I don't always do it right myself, is hearing other people, isn't it? And taking on board their opinions and trying not to shut them down and doing it respectfully, right? That's the skill there, because it's all great having debates. I enjoy it. It's good to have different opinions. Otherwise, it'll be so boring. But there are there are certain people in the YouTube community that they speak very well, and those type of people I probably prefer not to YouTube with. I'll try and YouTube with people I feel more comfortable with. Do you know what I mean? So I kind of get what Alex is saying a little bit, not the racist stuff. I'm not going to go there, but look, it's going on, isn't it? Today in the WhatsApp group, isn't it? it's all going on in the WhatsApp group, the
is.
arguments. What it gets to be, people get very, they take it very personally thing, and all it is football opinion. But there seems to be some kind of, I'm not going to mention names, but there's little bits of kind of ongoing history of fallouts that kind of rear their ugly head, and they don't just pick up the phone to each other and sort it out. Do you know what I mean? So it's, you know, it's just goes on, doesn't it?
I said, just bloody talk to one another and sort it out, man. It's only football banter, football opinion, for God's sake. There's more things to worry about than that.
It's just more like modern day, innit? These days, the way it used to be is if I just use Ben as an example here because I know he lived my life. Do you know what? I use Mia as an example here as well because I definitely knew Mia grew up in my area in my time. You know, like we got a problem with each other and that it starts going. Do you know what? Let's go out in the fucking car park and we sort it out. You either drop me or I'll drop you, and do you know what? I'll buy you a beer after, or we just don't fucking talk again. Yeah, simple as that. And I find a lot of people these days. You can't even do that because they shank you up straight in your fucking kidneys with a rusty fucking screwdriver. And YouTube is very similar to that, isn't it?
Or they call it now, Dan, wetting you up. I'm gonna wet you up, mate.
I think you got that. It's not wet. It's not wet you up. It's light you up. When most of the pricks can't even light a fucking candle.
Oh no, it's literally called wetting you up, mate.
In the corner.
They literally say it's wetting you up because I've heard it so many times working on the door down there. I think they're going to pull out a water pistol.
Shall we find out from a real hood rat? Shall we find out?
Then. Let's do it.
What does you come here and your little fucking Nike? Look at this. What do you want? I'm so sorry, you lot. Look at him. Show your face and your little fucking Nike tech. He's one of them. He's one of them. No, I'm not. What does what you want mean?
Watch out, dangerous road man.
He's right.
He's a road man.
He's right. Stab you up. He's what he said. Get the fuck out of my
Yeah.
I got told it was wetting you up.
Scott.
Yeah, he's wet you up now.
I'll ask you as well before we go over to the football side of it. It's just what do you think of the Spurs community as a whole? Do you think we're at war too much? It can never be like a different opinion. It's always a points thing. It's always turns into a fucking punch up, or someone's always got a major issue with someone just because they've got a different fucking opinion. Do you think it gets taken out of context? Out of context, can't stand the fucking word. That it gets almost pushed too far, basically, taken too personal.
Yeah, I mean, I think sometimes it gets taken too personal. I think what you were saying is right on par, right? If you can just talk to the people, how many times have you had an issue with someone, but then you talk to them and it actually gets, cleared up easily? There's lots of people, obviously. People know that I argue with a lot of people, have a lot of difference of opinions with people. And almost every time that I talk to them, I mean, the biggest example is Daigle. I just use him because we talk quite a bit, right? I say something in chat and he's like, oh, I don't agree with that. And then I talk to him on WhatsApp and he's like, that makes perfect sense. He might not agree with my point, but he sees where I'm coming from. And that's the kind of thing where I see doesn't happen a lot. Again, Mia and I often disagree a lot. And we'll talk backstage and we get along fine when we're talking like that, right? And I think what happens is because it's just that much more simple if you actually talk to the person and get where they come from. But so many times it seems here, part of it is because, let's be honest, in the chat, you can only type in things quickly. WhatsApp, it's just typing things in quickly. And so many times people seem to take the worst meaning that you could ever have when you say something. And it's just that easy just to clear it up. And I think if we did more of that, everybody, and I include myself, that kind of taking a minute to step back, but we're just seems when there's YouTube involved, WhatsApp involved, people just take it from 0 to 10 right away. And we don't like to be in that 5 or 6, right? We just like to be 0, 10, and that's how it goes. In some sense, I like it. I know why, because that's what people want to see. But
you're spot on, man. I upset someone in the group at the weekend, and I rang them up and just sorted it out, and just it's over nothing. Do you know what I mean? You just got to hear it and move on, man. It's not worth it.
Do you know what that is called, being a grown-up? Do you know what I find a lot of people, they're not mature enough to do that. See me, if I've got a problem with somebody, I'll just call them up and speak to them if it's got personal like that. But I try and stick to the football side of it. And like Scott said, me and him don't really agree on a lot. But backstage, as a person, I don't have any issue with Scott because I see the difference between a person and the footballing opinion. They're two separate things in my mind. So I can disagree with someone completely on their football side of things, and I'll get on just fine with people because I see that as different. I like to get to know people actually as who they are as people, and I think that gets you like to understand them a little bit more, even if you do disagree with them. So I just think it's just real. Some people just can't handle that side of it, and they just can't separate it, and they get too personal too quickly with people, really unnecessarily.
Are we talking about
Sometimes-
YouTube or Spurs fans here?
Sometimes you got to play.
Because it feels like we've
Sometimes you
sort of
got
gone into.
No, we're talking about overall of Spurs fans just fucking going. It's always at civil war. And just a thing I want to put here with you quickly, Rick C. Words can't assault you. People need to learn how to handle it. Mate, you're 100% right, in my opinion. There, yeah. As far as I'm concerned, if someone is offended by what I say, it is actually their choice whether they're offended or not.
Yeah,
it's actually it is actually that person's choice if they wish to be offended. If you wish to be offended for it, be offended for it. But honestly, again, it comes across rude. I don't fucking care. Some people do. I just can't see why some people can't see what happens on the pitch stays on the fucking pitch. Yeah. The thing I'm just trying to get at, mate, it's just this whole. It's not just YouTube I'm talking about. It's the Spurs fan base as a whole is always at war with itself. It's just hardly ever a civil debate. It always kicks off if you have a different opinion or a different thing. It's hardly ever civil. And Mark, if you want to come on, mate, the link's on there straight away. Alex, how we doing, mate? Mr. Box Office, hang on a minute, people. You're here to put your point over. Everyone's going to listen. No one's going to say fuck all. Go for gold, mate.
Listen, it wasn't a dig at anybody here. Obviously not. I'm not digging at anybody here. I never would dig at anybody here that's on the stream right now. But I look, you know, maybe it's my fault, but I look at comments a lot of the time, and most of the stuff that I hear, and I think it's thrown at certain people that that we're not coherent enough. I hear, some of the stuff I hear. And it's just because you've got a different opinion, they start looking at certain things about you stutter sometimes. Sometimes I've stuttered and stuff, and they've made fun of that as well. You know what I mean? It's just certain things that have come out of our debates because you don't have a different opinion. It just becomes like a bit of a class sort of thing. You get what I'm saying? And I've seen it a lot over the years, and it's got worse. Definitely worse now, I would say, especially at the moment. And that was what I meant. I wasn't trying to, I was trying to say it in a diplomatic way, but I just came it out. And I think as soon as I said the word, said that word, people jumped on it straight away, thinking I'm trying to derail the show here. And I was like, no, I'm not the case at all. I was trying to, I wanted to explain exactly how I felt. And I felt like this for quite a while. You know what I mean? Because I just feel like sometimes it just becomes very, very personal when you don't believe in. And I equate it to Piers Morgan, Andrew Tate. You know what I mean? Those polarizing characters, and I look at it and think,
wicked.
I know. It's like those are polarizing characters, and you think you're that sort of character, that you've blown away something, or blown somebody's, well, I shouldn't say that, but you've done something to someone's family or something like that, being a Spurs fan, if you don't agree with them, and then they get to the personal stuff saying, oh, he's not coherent enough, I can't think of another thing as well, because they'll say it to me. I've heard it a lot in comments now, and it gets really, really silly. You know what I mean? Just over the fact that because I just don't agree with you. You know what I mean? Oh, I need more time to see how it works out. You know what I mean? And I'm only just being very honest. Over the last how many years of doing YouTube, that's how I felt. And it maybe because I felt safe in a space like yourself, Dan, and Spurs Kings TV. The catch up now. I don't feel like that, or George, for instance. You know what I mean? I don't feel, or Stelios. Tottenham away sometimes. I don't feel very uncomfortable in those sort of environments because I never feel like I have to prove anything to anybody. You know what I mean? And it's all right to debate. I don't mind it because I've got Mia here that, you know, we don't agree, but, you know, it don't matter. It don't matter if we don't agree. You get what I'm saying? You know? But it's just getting... that's how I felt the last couple... And I've sat there and said to myself, is it that sort of thing? Is it because of that? Because I'm asking my question. Is it because of that? Why are people questioning how you speak? That shouldn't be the case of being a Spurs fan. You know, why does everybody need to know about you personally, what job you're doing, you know, what class you are? I didn't think it was about that. I thought it was about just being a Spurs fan. That's what it was all about for me. But that's where it comes. That's where personally what happened.
No, but Alex, to be fair, my man, you've got to have thick skin to do this. I've been called fucking idiot, stupid, terrible takes. You've got to have thick skin. I'm surprised it's affected you as much as you say it has done, to be honest. But make no mistake, you are massively popular amongst the community. I see
more than you actually realise, mate.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. You're mass. I think though, you're just bitching out because you know I want to cook you for what you said earlier in chat.
No. No. I've got thick skin, but it's what certain things that have been said in terms of like speech and stuff. That's when I'm like, okay,
Right.
what?
No.
That's you know, you don't speak coherently. You don't speak coherently, and I'm sitting there saying, okay, what has that got to do with Spurs? You get what I'm saying? So that's where I have
personal attacks.
Alex, there's a thing that there's a poem by Rudyard Kipling, and there's one sentence in there that I really take on board when I'm online and shit. And literally, it's if you can walk with crowds and keep your virtue, or walk with kings nor lose the common touch. I take that into my head whenever I come online. I mean, I read and write poetry a lot. That's one of my things. I read and write poetry. Yeah, I'm a bit of a poem nerd. Hello.
Fair enough.
I like take that context when I cut. I also like game as well, Dan. We talk backstage quite a lot about gaming, but I take that sentence from Rudyard Kipling's "If" from like 300 years ago. Basically, I'm like, okay, yeah, that kind of holds up into what most of these arguments are with people. If you're not looking too common or not looking too wise or everything with kings, and it just sort of falls into place when you're online.
I mean, I'm going to go to the football bit in a minute. Yeah, I mean,
unfortunately, guys, we've run out of time today here on the Feelings and Philosophy channel. But if you'd like to come back another time, these pussies won't be here. We can talk about fucking football.
This wasn't exactly how I was intending it to go as such. It was more of a sarcastic thing of why are Spurs fans always at fucking war with each other, yeah? Like, because it is always a fucking punch-up. It's either one or the other. The answer to what you're saying, Alex, that I will give you, and I'm going to leave it at that one, yeah, is, mate, it is just a dog-eat-dog world. And that's what it is. And when someone can just find something that gets on your fucking nerves or gets on your fucking back, they will jump on it, yeah? And especially when it's someone down on the chat and you can't see them and whatever else, it's just the way it is. It comes as part of the package. It is what it fucking is. It ain't going to change. It ain't ever going to change. It's always going to be a dog-eat-dog world, and that's where it is. But this show totally drifted off from what I actually meant it to actually be. It was meant to be like, why are Spurs fans always at fucking war? So let's get to the football side of it then. Just to,
I need to jump. I'm going to jump off because I'm going to watch a footy with the youngest. So
go for it, Mia. Good to see you. As always.
Good to see you guys. And chin up, Alex, because honestly, people always be a-holes, and you're not an a-hole. So just know that we all think that about you. Just those stupid people, they're faceless, silly people who don't know you properly, because we know you. So yeah, you've got a different way of communicating. So does everyone. You've got a different way maybe of talking. Everyone's got their way of talking in it. So don't worry about it. Honestly, they're all a-holes for saying anything to you. So
exactly. So it looks like the player we stand a serious mark on. This is going to go football now, yeah, because the other side didn't quite go the way I intended it to. But I think everybody agreed that Spurs fans are always at fucking war.
That's the thing.
Leo is the next person we are looking at, Rafael Leo at AC Milan, and he's meant to be really interested in us for a loan or 45, 55 million deal sort of thing. Now, this is one I personally am not too keen on. Again, I follow Italian football, and for me, on his day, he is like a Mark Rashford. He's a very good player. He could score a goal. He can change a game. But he's one of the laziest motherfuckers I have ever seen on a fucking pitch. He wants that ball put to his foot. He can't be bothered to bloody run for it. He's too busy fucking about it himself half the time. And then for a month or so, he'll be excellent. And then for 2 months, you won't even know he plays bloody football if anyone actually checks up on it, yeah? And it's meant to be one we're very seriously looking at. And then a lot of people started to bring in, well, Tonali played with him, so they must be good and everything. And Tonali rated him. Well, Ronaldo went and said that Kulusevski's been the best false nine that he's ever played with. I mean, what do you think of going with Leo? We got the choice of Gakpo as well. I mean, who do we go for on that left-hand side? I mean, there's Mamouche as well. The questions are all there at the moment.
Yeah, you've got multiple. I mean, look, Dan, I completely agree with you. With Rafael, look, listen, the thing is that you've got with Rafael is his output, which is something at Tottenham we don't really have right now. We've got no player that sort of gives you that regular output, which is a massive problem. But again, going back to what you said previously, he's horrendously lazy. And what Dan means by that also is his defensive work rate is like 0. And this guy's ego is like an 11. An 11.
Yeah.
This guy's ego is crazy. Don't get me wrong. It's good to have a maverick sometimes. But, yeah, he thinks he's... I hear a lot of people talk about, you can't have players that think they're bigger than the club. I think Leao would be one of them, if I'm honest. But it's hard to argue with a man's GA. So I certainly wouldn't complain if he came into the club. And in all honesty, I'd be quite happy because I can play with him on FIFA. Rock on. There's a small reason. So he would
Not
be
called FIFA
a good sign. Well, don't even get me started on that shite. Fucking hate that game now. I can't even play. I used to play it to relax. Now I want to kill someone after I play that shite. Look, with Leao, I think he's a great talent, but is he the right fit for Spurs? Probably not. I think if you had a want for anyone, and again, this is personal opinion, I think the ideal guy for Spurs would probably be a Marmouche. But if you're asking for my personal opinion, I would love Savinho personally. I know his output's not been that great this season, and there's reason for it. There's context behind it. Sorry, Dan. I said the dreaded word. The dread, don't say context. But I personally have got a lot of faith in Savinho. I think he is a wonderful, wonderful dribbler of the ball. I just think he's a problem, and I feel like he's one of those players that needs to feel part of a team and needs a bit of love. And I don't know if that sounds sentimental. Well, I'm not sure.
Ben, you've got to look at his output when he's at Girona, right? The first season, his breakout season. Yes. Then his first season playing for Man City, second behind Doku in progressive running, second behind Silva in progressive passing. In a team that Man City like that in your first seasons, that's not too bad. And people sit there and go, "Oh, but he hasn't done it this year." Well, look at what's in front of him: Doku, Semenyo. Insert player here. Man City is spoilt for riches, so the kid wants to leave to prove himself. Yeah. And if he wants to prove himself and come down to Tottenham and be the player that I know he can be, with what I see when I watch like you and Dan, I watch football everywhere. Wherever it's on, I'll watch it. It could be the boonies out in the middle of the woods, mate. People playing football, I'll go and watch. That kid's got something special. I mean, don't get me wrong. I want 2 left wingers, a right winger and a striker. So I'm just being greedy now. Give me 2 left wingers that can 2 different profiles, so that if what profile A isn't working on, bring profile B on. Like with Kudos, if Kudos isn't working, I don't want to see. I love Kulu, but he's done. That injury has ruined him. We need another right winger because I just don't want Tell in a Tottenham shirt. It's sad to see Kulu go the way he has because that injury has ruined him. I mean, I was very dubious about Madders coming back after he's had 2 ACL tears, not ruptures. If that was an ACL rupture, that guy's career's over because I can attest for an ACL rupture because I've been through that shit. But get me a top quality striker, 2 left wingers and 1 more right wing, and then I'll be happy with this window. Get the players that we don't need. And now this one with Dragusin. Obligation to buy if he meets certain amount of games played. You know what they're going to do at Fiorentina? If it's 20 games, they'll get him to 19 and then you won't see him for the rest of the season. Like, thank you, Tottenham. He's done what he needed. You can have him back now. That's what's going to happen. That's how I see that whole situation playing out with Dragusin. So next year we'll be kicking down the can down the road again to try and get rid of him. Get rid of Romero. Simple.
Dragusin's already gone 20 million, and literally everybody laughed when I said we'll get 20 million euros for him easy because he's very respected in Italy. And that is basically 20 million we've just got out of Fiorentina for him, which is, considering what he hasn't done at Spurs, is a nice bit of business again. That's a shrewd bit of business, in my opinion, there. I mean, Dan, what's your take on Leo, basically? Because I must admit, it is one I am not too keen on. You know what? If we got him on loan for a season, I can hack that one. But from just how I watch him in Italy, I'm just not very keen on this one. But there just aren't that many options out there, I don't think.
He didn't have a great season, right, last year. Is that right, Dan? He wasn't great, was he?
Shall I look that up for us? Because I'm not even sure.
Go for it. No, it wasn't the best of seasons he had. He's very patchy, to say the least.
But if you look at his goals and assists the last 4 years, they're pretty good. So he's in like the very good bracket, not in the world class or elite bracket. He's like in the level below. So he can be explosive. He can be exciting.
He can be very good.
And I think, I don't know, it's probably maybe on your channel, Dan, or somebody else's, I heard that he needs to be motivated. He needs to feel a bit loved. He needs to, maybe he needs a new project away from AC Milan, new fresh start. And look, you're right there. You know, what wingers score 15 plus goals? There's not that many. If you do look at it, there are, but they're all at
not many
clubs.
Strikers do it, Dan. Not many strikers do it anymore.
Very true, very true. And I think it's a tough one. We've got to get it right because it's going to be a lot of money. Maybe a loan to start off with to see how he gets on, and obviously if he does well, maybe we could, sign him the season after. But I think I'd willing to take a risk for him. I've seen enough there, enough talent there. And if you look what we've got, man, we're in desperate need of quality, aren't we?
Yeah, no, I can go with that one. I mean, I would rather, if we had to, I would rather take him on loan. But I'm agreeing with what you're saying in the aspect. I mean, who else is there? I mean, another one we're meant to be looking at, Gakpo, 70 million. I mean, like me and Ben were saying at the start, are any of these players worth that amount of money? No, but that's just the market, so you've got to deal with it. It's the thing I've always said. If you want what you want, you've got to put the fucking money on the table. And we have just proven that money talks. Go on, Ben, you were going to say.
I was going to say, boys and girls, but to be fair to Leao, last season he got 9 goals, 3 assists, which is not too bad because you're still looking at sort of 12 GA. That's certainly not terrible. But overall, he's played something like 237 games for Milan, scoring. Hold on a sec, I had it 2 seconds ago. 1 second. Scoring. Oh, sorry, it's taking a second to load. Well, yeah, 291 games for Milan. He's scored overall 80 goals, and he has assisted, and it's gone again, and he's assisted 65. That's not terrible by any means. And the thing is, I think what he does offer in game on the attack, at the very least, he is constantly wanting to get on that ball going forward. And he does make things happen.
He wants the ball at his feet, Ben.
That's
one of the problems.
It is the problem. It is.
He's a lazy bastard.
He is. He's just disgustingly lazy.
Just a better version of Johnson, then, in that sense.
Yeah, well, that's not bloody hard. I mean, the thing is, if you look at when he scores a lot of his goals, you can almost relate him to Son, except Son was a miles better. Son, for me, was a very, very patchy player. Now, the thing is with Son, he was not world class, but to me, he was just that one level under. But the thing I will say Son was literally world class at was both his feet. I don't think there's been many people out there that could score with both his feet like the way he did, yeah? And the thing is with Son, he'd go through 6 games and score 8 goals, example, and then he'd go through 8 games and score a goal as such. And that is what I call a patchy player. But then the thing is with Son, 9 times out of 10, you still knew he was on that fucking pitch and he was doing his job. And with that one, Leo is very much the same, except with him, he's like Rashford. For 3 months, 2 months, 1 month, whatever, it'd be a complete animal and a game changer on the pitch. And then all of a sudden, he disappears for a couple. like for a month or two. With him, it's not just patches in games; it's patches in length of time. And now he can be a complete game changer, no two ways about that. But do we really want to take that with someone who's basically not far off doing a Romero?
Guys, Dan,
and with an ego of a Romero, by the way. Go on, Dan.
It's a bit similar, isn't it, with that other guy we're linked to, Krupi, right? The young kid, right? He's done 13 goals, one year in the Premier League, 13 goals, no assists. Plays across the front line. That's another kind of, and they're asking for a lot for him as well. I heard like close
85,
to 90,
75, 90. I've heard.
I heard 90. Yeah,
it's another kind of risk, isn't it? Another risky move for him or Liao. I mean, who are we going to sign? Like you said, Dan, who is guaranteed to come into this team and actually deliver goals and assists? If you look at what across world football, I mean, you've got the scouting and the kind of, who works out who signs who. It's got to be so bang on with this one, because we need that goals, we need them assists, and it has to happen. If we take a risk and it don't work, we're in trouble, aren't we? We're going to be in the same problem as last season. So it's a real tough one, guys. Honestly,
I definitely think Krupi's a more interesting one.
Yeah, I'll go to Krupi in a minute because he's more one that I want to talk about again. I've spoke to a few people about it, but he's more one that I need people to explain him to me because I haven't watched him enough. And I can say the same with Fernandez as well. I haven't seen him enough to actually make a fair judgment on him as such. I mean, Alex, what do you know of Rafael Leo? Would you say it's worth going for, or would you say there's others better off going for?
Well, I think he's going to be a problem for me. He looks like another Moani for me. He looks like another Moani for me, to be honest. I think it's a big risk to go and get somebody like that for me. I wouldn't touch him. There's a reason why. I was just on another show before, and like they said to me that he's been offered everywhere, and no one's taken him. So for me, I think Krupi is a risk as well. I think he's just flavour of the month, flavour of the summer for me. So I'm struggling with this front line at the moment. I think Trossard, was one that we could have missed out on. But I don't know if
he was one I wanted personally. I wanted Trossard before he went to Arsenal. I thought he was good, and a lot of people said no to him. And he's 32 now, and plus we ain't doing business with Arsenal, are we?
No, we're not. So the Trossard one would have made sense for the time being because of his goals, maybe as well, and he would have been on a high after winning the league with Arsenal. But yeah, I think you're looking abroad a little bit, maybe. Or you're taking a winger you're taking a chance with, like Savinho or something like that. Or I don't mind the Gakpo. I'll say that, because he's I don't think you're going to get a Marmoush. And then you're looking at other teams like the low ones as well. So looking at Bournemouth, maybe what their wingers are, because they've got some good wingers as well.
I'm just going to throw a name out there. Gilberto Mora of Mexico, the 17 going on 18-year-old, the one that Barcelona and Man City are both looking at. The kid is phenomenal. I've watched him for nearly 2 seasons now in Mexico. Kid is fire. He really is.
I will never fall in love with another Mexican player because of Giovanni Dos Santos. I thought that guy was going to be the next Ronaldinho. I watched him in the under-17s World Cup years ago and thought this kid is going to be Ronaldinho. Oh my God, never been so let down.
No, problem I have with that one. I mean, Scott, go on, give us your opinion on Leo. You haven't given us opinion on that, and then I'm going to go over to Krupi.
I think my concerns are, the positives about him is, look, we need goals. I've said it so many times, and I don't mean to harp on it, but we do. Kudos is decent, but he's not a goal scoring. He's not a goal scoring winger. That's not. He'll provide. I think you can say 5 to 8 goals is what you should expect from him, right? Anything more is going to be a bonus, but you can't rely on it. There's not a striker out there who's going to guarantee you 20 goals this season, right? We'll talk about Krupi and we'll see that. But I just think we need
done and dusted, isn't it? There's few and far between.
Yeah, there's not that many out there, and they're not probably coming to us. Again, Krupi, when we get to it, he might have that potential, but again, potential. So I'm more open to Liao than I normally would be. What concerns me is he's 27 years old. He's had a bunch of different managers. It's not like this is, hey, people I know they love De Zerbi. The idea that De Zerbi, he's going to come in and De Zerbi is going to get something out of him, change him from being the lazy player that you describe. I don't think so. I think when you're 27 years old, had the seasons he has, I think he is what he is. He's going to be a lazy player, so you have to accept it. But because we need goals so bad, and I don't see another left wing option that's really going to provide us with those goals, I might be willing to take him on. The thing that concerns me about a loan is, do we take him in on a loan? He shows well that year because he's trying to impress us, and then we sign him up and he goes back to being a dud. But I think a loan wouldn't be the bad idea because then we can hopefully get somebody that fits in better. I know Ben loves Savinho. My only concern with him is the goals as well. And because I'm so hyper focused on goals, Liao is going to be near the top of my list because he is someone who I think I would expect at least 10 goals from him with the potential to move up to 15 if he had a really good season. Not saying that he would guarantee it, but I'd be expecting 10 goals from him. And that's the kind of level of production I think we're going to need from the left wing we bring in.
And he's special, isn't he? He's a special player. He's someone
the talent
the world. Yeah, we don't have that anymore, do we? Really?
On his day, he's a very good player. You know what? With what you said there, Scott, I do think that is a very fair assumption there because out of the ones that are named here, like Savinho, Gakpo, Leo, he is more the one who can and has the ability to change a game, to score that goal, to have that moment of fuck you and put it in the back of the net, basically. It's just, for me, it's with the attitude and the inconsistency he's got. I mean, it's like the same thing as well with Krupi. Now, everybody is telling me we need to go for him, yeah? From what I've actually seen of him and also checked up on him now, and people have told me, it looks like he's the man that we're going to go for. The only question I personally have with it, and this is an issue I do have, it's mainly because of last season. I want teachers, not teachers' pets. I want teachers, not students. Now, I'll accept we've taken a few what you'd want to call teachers in now, yeah? But we was all complaining last season, and I'm not saying don't go for him, by the way. I'm saying it looks like he does look like he is, like he has got it. It does look like but he's had one season, and he is a young player. And okay, some will say he can only get better. That's not strictly true. I just have a big problem with relying on a 19, a 20, a 21-year-old. Because everyone was complaining about it last season that we were doing it. And then all it took was Kinksky to have 5 good games. And then all of a sudden, the majority of keeper think he's fucking the next Buffon. I just have a problem with the age with players. I want experience in that. But it doesn't really look like there's better options out there. So do you think we should go for Krupi as well? Because from what I've seen and everything else, I don't think there's going to be a better option out there. And I do think it is one to go for. I'm just very skeptical of the age side of things. But that's the only side I'm...
I think that's crazy because people say there's not better options out there. There is a lot of better options out there. You've got the likes of... wow, now you can't remember his fucking name? Who's the guy from... Is it Sporting? The Greek fella. What's his
Pavlidis?
Thank you. Yeah. You've got Pavlidis. You've got, listen, if we're spending money, guys, you could go and take a look at Oshiman. You've got Thiago as well. You've got that Grasson from fucking
Guerressi from
Borussia Dortmund. But this is what I'm saying. There's plenty of options out there. But look, but it's this Krupi fella, right? I will not lie to you. I have seen him in a few games, and I have been mightily impressed with a certain few aspects of his game. I looked into him a bit myself earlier, and I can tell you, he played for FC Lorient in France and scored 22 goals in a season. This kid has, seriously elite level finishing abilities. If you go back and watch him, this kid's instincts in front of goal are way beyond his years. He really is fantastic in front of goal. He's adaptable. I get it, right? Because I was one of them. Because of, like Dan said, his age, you are instantly going to start questioning things because we've had bad luck with buying youngsters. And anyone who says that's going to be right, because we have. But I think the difference between buying a youngster like a Bergvall, a Gray, a Tell, and then buying youngsters like, Fernandez and possibly Krupi, whatever. I think the difference is I don't mind paying for youngsters that are producing now, whereas the aforementioned haven't really produced throughout their careers. They've been all right, but they haven't produced. And
exactly, Ben. Yeah, I like.
You know what I'm saying, Scotty. So for me, I think there is a difference in buying kids and buying kids. You know what I mean? You wouldn't say the same for. There's so many fantastic 19-year-olds at the minute knocking around. I mean, look at you mean Lamau. I've said that right or wrong? Yeah,
I know who
Lamine Yamal, whatever. You know what I'm talking about.
But that's different. That's a bit different, Ben. That's a freak, as far as I'm concerned.
No, of course. Probably a bad example, but
and I don't mean that in a horrible way. That's actually a compliment.
No, mate. So for me, with Krupi, it is difficult because you think I do want a more established player, and given what we've gone through in the last few years, I think you'd be right to say that. But Krupi's got some talent, but is he 80, 90 million? Not a fucking chance. Is that where we are now? Is that where we are? In this football community, we're spending that sort of money on a kid that's had like 2 full seasons at 22 goals for FC Lorient, great, and then 13 for Bournemouth. I think what people are seeing in him is his technique, and you know what I'm saying, like his finishing ability. He's a smart player as well. So
you know what?
They're not so much looking.
Ben. You know what also is there, Ben? He's good with both feet. He's not just a right foot. He's deadly with both feet. He's quick up here. Like you said, his footballing mind, his footballing IQ as a striker is bang, bang, bang.
Sharp for his age.
But 19 years old, going on 20. How many other strikers in world football at the moment at his age have got that kind of
composure,
cool awareness, composure, and footballing IQ at 19? I mean, look at some of the players we got at 19. You think, like, when we had Gray, like, the guy has got no footballing knack against him. I mean, there's levels.
They play like your average 19-year-olds, don't they?
Yeah, there's levels
never
between.
even played in the Premier League.
Yeah, but there are levels too where a Krupi is compared to where like some of our young players are. I mean, if we got Krupi in, I would be like, right, sorry, Yoda Bear, bye-bye. I would put Krupi out on the left or in the centre.
I can see where you're coming from. I can see where you're coming from with it. Like I say, I just don't know enough about him to judge him as such. Go on, Scott.
I was going to say, I'll say, like, I have not watched a lot of his full games at Bournemouth. I'm not going to claim that I did. But I think Ben and Corey make 2 good points. The first one, Ben said, this isn't like an Odebert situation where he had 3 goals and 3 assists. Like, 13 goals is an impressive amount. And it's also a little bit different from Solanke, where we said he only had 1 good season. Because Solanke had 1 good season and 7 bad seasons, right? This guy has only had 1 good season, but the only reason he's only had 1 good season is because he's only played 1 good season, right? He hasn't had time to have more than 1 good season. So I think I have a little bit more faith in someone who's played 1 season, had a good season, versus Solanke, who's had 1 good season, played 7 season. And Corey said, when I've seen his highlights of his goals, they aren't just, Brennan Johnson tapping at the back. He's got goals in the box where he's smart. He reads the play and gets to the right position, scores with his left, scores with his right. He's got a header goal. He had a great shot from outside the box. Like, when you watch those highlights, which can be dangerous, I'll admit it can be dangerous. But as Corey said, he shows a wide range of talent, a wide range of skills, which then when you see the stats, right? We always talk about stats and eye test. You want both to line up. Kind of matches up with his 13 goals. So originally I was kind of on your end, Dan. I don't really want a young guy, but I have to say, and it's dangerous, I'm starting to get excited the more I look at him and read about him. And I think one of the things, again, like I said with Liao, I'm willing to take the risk because of the goals and output. When there's not a top level striker, like, I think Marmouche is good, and I think he'd do a really good job for us. But I'm not sure Marmouche is ever going to be elite. And I think with this Krupi kid, you're taking the chance he could be elite.
You know what he reminds me of? He reminds me of a young Thierry Henry. Thierry Henry wasn't exactly proven when he come to.
Or be careful making comparisons on our YouTube, mate. You'll get eaten alive. Be careful.
He reminds me of a young Thierry. He really does. Good with both feet and clinical finishing.
Yeah, for sure. Do you know what? To be
mean,
fair, can we also
Thierry
mention one
Henry...
other thing real quick? He's played in Cam and he's a striker.
Thierry
Henry
Henry
been
was
played
actually...
in different positions.
Yes, on the left. I mean, Thierry Henry was actually pretty shit when he was at Juventus, if I'm going to be totally honest. He was not good. But again, they didn't play him to the best way. And then Wenger came in, knew him from a kid, basically, and said, this is how we were going to play him. And he turned out to be one of the greatest strikers there's ever been in the Premier League. Now, I will make a statement here. I still feel Harry Kane is a better striker than Thierry Henry. But I feel Thierry Henry is a much better player than Harry Kane. But I think Harry Kane is a more capable striker than Thierry.
Dan, I don't think you can say that because define the word player. Define the word player.
Player overall capability of a player basically is same as like
exciting to watch or actual ability.
No. The thing actual ability. Thierry Henry, he could play as a left winger, he could play as a right winger. He covered attacking midfield sometimes. He was excellent as a striker. He was a more complete player of what he was capable of on the pitch as a whole. Whereas when it comes into the box, Harry Kane can score with his left foot, right foot, and he can head the ball. Thierry Henry couldn't head for shit. He never could.
And
I think he
Harry
scored
Kane
about
can
6
drop into midfield.
And Harry Kane can play as a number 10 better because he can pass the ball better, long, direct, and short. Not saying Thierry Henry couldn't, but Harry Kane could play a 10 role much better. But as a complete player on that pitch where speed and everything comes into it and everything else, Thierry Henry was a better player. But for me, I personally think Harry Kane was a better striker, you know? But people,
would it be fair to
with.
say this, Dan? Would it be fair to say this? Thierry Henry was more exciting to watch.
No, 100.
Rather than being a better player.
No, I think he was a better overall player.
Okay, fair enough.
I think he had more capabilities than that pitch on Kane, but Kane was a better striker through and through. In the box, Kane was better, in my opinion.
Fair enough.
Just to answer a question here, Scott, this is a really good point. Dan, would you take Thuram, Marcus Thuram? Sure as fuck I would, mate. I work with an Italian guy who supports him and thinks if we put big money down, they would probably sell. Now, this is one thing I keep and have been saying to people for nigh on coming up for 3 fucking years now, yeah? Italy is up shit street. People must be sick of me saying it, yeah? But Italy has been up shit street for a very, very long time, ever since it had that crash of being the most corrupt league in absolute football to the point where they had to relegate
Early 2000s, yeah. Early 2000s.
Yeah. And then it fell to pieces. From being possibly the best league the world has ever seen, if you count all the teams and all the players all together, it is probably when Serie A was at its peak. I personally think Serie A at its peak was better than the Liga at its peak, or even the Premier League at its peak. Personal opinion.
Well, the
Some of those
Italian
teams you
league
can
was
go.
where
The Italian league, when its
was
league
wanting to
was
go.
at its peak, when it was at its peak, I think it has been the best league ever, and then it just crashed. And it still has not recovered in many means or manner. Como are the only ones out there that you really can't go out and necessarily bully for money unless they need spending money because they're not bringing it in yet. But now they're in the Champions League. You mark my words, they'll be in the Champions League straight for another 2 years, and then they will smash that league to pieces for the next 3 or 4 years. Mark my words on this one, yeah? Because they have actually got the fucking money to do it. They got 2 owners that are worth something like fucking 50 billion each or whatever, and I don't think that's an over-exaggeration, who both own cigarette factories, for God's sake, yeah. And and every other team in Italy, I mean, down to the fact that if you check it on a match day sort of thing, like AC Milan even struggle to bring in the same sort of money that bloody Crystal Palace do or something. You look at the size of their stadium, yes, it can be more, but with match tickets, Fulham charge more on a season ticket than any team in Italy. You know, Fulham, for God's sake. You know, I mean, you try.
If Italy had money, Tonali would be there, right, Dan? Like Tonali would have never left AC Milan if they had any money.
No, there was 2 reasons. No, there was 2 reasons why Tonali left. 2 reasons. AC Milan knew what was going to go wrong with him. They fucked Newcastle over in a big, big way. They knew what was coming with him, and they didn't tell Newcastle or nobody and sold him. Tonali didn't actually want to go. But Tonali basically get told if you don't fuck
He
off, you're in
cried.
trouble.
He cried.
Yes.
Do you remember?
Yes.
Yeah.
He did not want to go, but he had it put on him by the fans as well. And this is one thing that goes on in Italy. It's like, look what happened to Osimhen. He wanted to go, and his wife basically got a gun put to her head and said, if you leave, you're not going to be married anymore. And then the following season, it totally changed the opposite way round. If you don't fuck off, we're going to do you. I mean, it's just a total different kettle of fish out there, yeah? And if you offer the right money in Italy, I mean, it's like Manu Kone. You could probably go and get him for 60 bloody million, and he is one of the best in Europe, in my opinion. You could go out there and put 40 million on the bloody table and go and get Sevilla for about 30, 40 million out there. Juve are bidding for him, even though they want him. And he's a goalkeeper that's had 30 clean sheets in 2 seasons. He's Serie A's #1 last season. And people are saying we want to play Kingsley. Juventus are going for Vicario because they cannot afford to go for Sevilla, who is going at 30, 40 million. Because he has said he refuses to sign a contract. The point I'm getting at is if you want money out there and you don't want to pay top money, go to Italy. It's where it is. And Thuram, would we get him? I think if he came on sale, I think there'd be too many big teams that might want him over us. But he is a player I would love to go for. I mean, Alex, what is your take on Krupi? Yeah, I've listened to everyone's take on this. I want to listen to yours. Because like I say, I'm very sceptical with the age, but he does look very promising at the same time.
I'm not copying you, Dan, but I think I've got the same opinion that you've got, that you said on the 2 March show. Because I said this to you, didn't I? I said to you that it's too much of a risk. It's too much of a risk for me. It's way too much of a risk for me because you know he's only had 1 season, and knowing Spurs, I mean, the only reason why I would say that he might be he might be for us right now is if De Zerbi wants him, he must have a plan for him. He must have a plan for him because, like, this could go really wrong if we're paying all that money and putting pressure on
really
him.
Right.
Well, it could do, but the thing is, though, you've got to have a plan for a guy like that because, like, he's only had 1 good season in the top flight right now. Yes, he did have a good season in the League 2 in France, by the way. So that just shows you that there is talent when you actually look for it.
Yeah. I think his device just connected a bit. I'll bring it back on as soon as he comes back on now. But it is a fair point he's making. And I know a lot of people will just say, oh, shut up, what you're moaning about. It's better than what we got. Yeah, 2 white is better than what we got. I'll go and put me, Scott, Corey and fucking Ben on the pitch instead of fucking Solanke and Richarlison, if I'm going to be honest. Go on, Alex.
Well, I'm a goalkeeper, mate, so...
No, listen. It is what it is. But for me, I just think it's a big risk. I think it's a big risk. And I look at him, I think if you're going to get him in, you've got to have the similar profile player around him that he has at Bournemouth or, you know, at his previous club to make him tick. You know what I mean? Don't just buy him in and think he can do something else, something that you can't, you know, you've never seen him do. You know what I mean? So, you know, because that's the only way you're going to get him ticking. And Tottenham need goals. And if you're going to put pressure on a guy like that to get goals, you're going to have to make sure he makes you feel comfortable. Don't do what you did with Javi Simmons, get him into the team and just let him do what he wants to do. You get what I'm saying? You know? There's just no point.
Because if he comes over for 90 million, I think what you're basically saying is the amount of
he's your main player, basically, if he's 90 million.
Yeah.
He's your main player.
The amount of pressure that will go on him. The amount of pressure that will go for his... Basically, you're saying for his age and to go at 90 million, the amount of mental pressure that's going to put on him. I mean, look, the 40 million that the pressure got for Archie Gray is going to be horrendous compared to 100 million for Tonali, which is going to be pressure on him, but he's a very grown, established player already as such. That's going to be a lot of pressure on a kid to go for 90 million, isn't it?
He's 19 years old as well. Look at the arguments you had. We don't like Archie Gray, young. We don't like Birbal, young. We don't like Tell, young. We don't like Audibet, young. So now we're getting another player in who's young, right? Yes, he's had 1 season, but 1 season for a 19-year-old, he hasn't had his bad spell yet. You know what I mean? So for me, like, rather than me try, I just look at it like this, yeah? You're taking more of a risk with a Kroupy, right? Because he looks good and he's flavour of the month, but you missed out on bloody Trossard. Make it make sense.
Yeah, but that's a different story, Alex. That's like 4 years ago, 3 years ago now.
No, but I'm talking about like the Arsenal Trossard right now, yeah? Right? Coming off the back of him winning the championship, yeah? With Arsenal, yeah? So we're taking the risk of Kroupy for one season, right? But we completely ignore the fact that Trossard was on the market from Arsenal. Now, regardless whether Arsenal are going to sell to Tottenham, that's not the question I'm saying here, yeah? Right? But my point is, would you rather have somebody who's got experience, has just won a championship with Arsenal, right? That definitely upgrades our forward line, our wingers, yeah? That is reliable to be fit every single game, right? Rather than getting Kroupy, right? Yes, he's had a very good season, but you do not know. You know what I mean? That's my argument at the moment, because I'm the same wavelength as you, Dan. You get what I'm saying? I'm the same wavelength as you.
I get where you're coming across there, but the Trossard one I don't think was the best example. But I do get where you're coming from there. I mean, it's like people also telling me Vlahovic is free. I know that. And for me, if you actually go and check up his stats, Vlahovic has been worse for the past 2 years than fucking Richie. I think Richie has actually got better stats.
Outperformed him for 2 years straight.
Yes.
Richie.
There's a reason why.
Ever since he left Juventus, ever since he left Fiorentina, he done cracking at Juventus for a season, and then he just really never ever lived up to standards. Personally, I don't think Vlahovic would make it in the Premier League, but would you take that risk on taking him for a free and kicking Richie out? And then, like someone mentioned on here, Kroupy, offer him, say, 60 million, and you can have Solanke back. Would they even want Solanke back? I don't know. But, is it an option?
I wouldn't mind them giving Solanke back.
You know what I mean? But
That would be great.
It is just a very, very... It's just a very, very tricky situation at the moment. It's like Gakpo. Liverpool fans can't wait to see the fucking back of him. They do not like him. A lot of Liverpool fans I know can't stand him and say he's one of the most greedy players on the pitch. And so many times there could have been goals or he could have created when he just was selfish as fuck, basically. I just don't know where we go with this one. I've said it on a few shows. I'm like really sort of...
So it's fair to say he's exciting, but it is a risk. He's had 2 good seasons in his whole career. It is a risk. But again, I think what people are looking at with Kroupy is, this is going to sound so stupid.
Yeah.
It's more than his numbers, I think, is what people are looking at. Like, they're looking at his technique, his composure,
his potential.
Yes, yeah. But I mean, I think as Spurs fans, I think because of what we've had to deal with, that probably scares us more than most other clubs, right? Because we've literally relied on children for the last 2 years.
But like I said earlier, Ben, it's the level of Kroupy compared to some of our younger players.
That is a fair point.
I agree.
That is a good point.
When I look at Kroupy, I know the kid's got both feet. He's lightning quick. He takes on a player. When I look at Gray, Bergvall, Tell, and Odegaard, I'm like, what do you actually offer?
What do you bring to the table?
Yeah,
I hear you.
And when I look at Bergvall, I jokingly say this: I think the kid's in the wrong sport. Either NFL as a middle linebacker, or get him playing rugby because he wants to run into people and clatter them.
I agree.
And with Gray, I keep saying this: the only reason why Gray is in football is because of his father and grandfather before him. And he's even jokingly said that his younger brother is better than him, so he got stiffed with the wrong brother. So that's the way I look at it. When the older brother's saying my younger brother's better than me, I'm sitting there as a fan going, so why didn't we get the younger brother? And he's a striker.
It is just a very tricky situation up front because it's very few and far between. And I do think that Gakpo is a massive gamble, especially for the price and that, and especially for the age, and especially for the fact that, I mean, fuck the price, don't worry about the price, but for the age, and he has only had one season where he has delivered. But then I think it also comes down to, I think, Corey, you said it just now, if I remember right, where I'm definitely one of the Spurs supporters that has been scared shitless by the age, basically. I do have the attitude of that if you are good enough, you are good enough and you go on that pitch. But then I hear a lot of people also turn around and say, like when they defend Archie Gray and Bergvall and Odegaard and Tell, yeah, but he's only young. You've got to give him a chance. Well, hang on a minute. Tell cost us basically 50 million.
Yeah.
Because of the money we would have got for Harry Kane, and plus we paid, or was it nearly 60 million he basically cost us because we got him on fucking loan. And
no, it cost 40 million. Tell cost 50.
Yeah, Tell cost 50. But season before we paid 10 million for him on loan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's about 60 million that Tell basically cost us, didn't it? Basically.
I thought we paid 10 million and plus 35, no?
Either way, let's just say
either way, it's around that ballpark. Yeah.
Yeah. And that didn't work out well. 40 million for Archie Gray definitely didn't work out very well. Bergvall, you can't really complain about because he was cheap. And if we sell him, we're going to go 45, 50 million, 40 million, whatever. We're going to make money on him. Yeah. I just must admit, I have been scared by the younger players on how the ones we have bought have just been pretty much shit. And I agree that if a player is good enough, he plays. Whether he's 16, whether he's 60. If he is good enough and can do his job on that pitch, then he plays. But then I will judge him exactly the same way that I will judge the next player next to him that is 25 or 30, whatever. But I do agree that sometimes you do have to cut that little bit of slack through inexperience. But then we get to my point of being young, and do I want to be relying on an inexperienced player to score goals for me through the season? This is the questions I have.
What I think is different with these guys, though, and Fernandez, for example, and Krupi versus Tell, Odegaard, Gray, is for Fernandez. Yes, he's young, but we're not saying let's hope he can come in and develop into something. Like we're like, let's have Fernandez does what he did last year. What Krupi does what he did last year. That's the one thing why I'll give Fernandez and Krupi a little bit more credit because they've already done it. So we're not saying let's hope they show us something they haven't done. We're saying let's hope they give us what they did and then expand on it. And for me, that's better than the Tell, Odegaard, Gray, and Bergvall, who haven't shown it at all. And even the people that back those guys, they don't back them and say, look what they've done. It's always look what they could do. And at least Fernandez and Krupi, they've done something.
Have actually done something.
Impressive.
Yeah,
you know
but
what?
the only
Scott, that is a solid point. One sec, Alex. You know what, Scott? That's a bang on point. And one Spurs king, I don't care about the age. I just said that myself. If you're good enough, you're good enough. I care about how good they are. Spurs fans would say no to Yamal because he's young. No, they fucking wouldn't. Yeah, because Yamal was, like Scott has just said, Yamal was just totally killed it, and he is just a freak of nature. Yeah, like Ronaldo, like other players, like Messi, whatever. They are not football players. They are freaks. They should be in the X-Men or something like that.
They're men before their time. They really are. Those players.
They should.
But, I mean,
they should be.
That as well.
They should be in Marvel or what's the other one? DC or something like that. They are freaks of nature. Yeah, but people are scared of younger players because of what we have seen. But Scott, I do think that is a good point. At least with Krupi, you can see that he has already delivered something. Whereas when we got Tell, what did he deliver? Nothing. When you got Archie Gray, as all I heard is, yeah, but he cooked that game against against Chelsea. And then I heard that Archie Gray had a brilliant game against Madrid. And I turn around and say, yeah, so did fucking Harry Winks. You know what I'm saying? You know. And go on, Alex. You wanted to say something, mate? Go on.
No, I totally agree with you. It's just at the moment, I think I hear what Scott's saying, but the Krupi one, it's still a risk for me because he's had one season and no one really knew about him. Well, now people know about him. They might be marking him up. That's the problem with him at the moment. You see what I'm saying?
That's a fair point. That is a fair point.
That's where I think we're not thinking about this right now because the second season's always a dangerous season for that player that's already done really well. Like I remember Swansea when they had players that came in had a very good season. I think there was one Spanish player, I can't remember his name now, had a really good season, scoring season. The second season, he was crap because everyone knew about him. Everyone knew about him.
I get where you're coming from. Basically, you're saying a player can have one extremely good season, yeah, because nobody knows of him.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, everyone knows of him and they're on him, basically. I get
Yeah,
it. I get where you're coming
mark
from.
him up.
It was like Angie's style of football. Angie's style of football, I didn't agree with it from the second game and said, like, we are not going to be able to hold this way, basically, yeah. But after about the 10th game, everybody basically clocked how he played and then totally fucking cooked us nearly every game the same way, basically. And the only reason we finished 5th was because of those first 10 games. So you're basically saying he's had one good game because nobody knew him, but not because he hasn't got no skill, but because he wasn't really known. Now he's that well known. Are people going to be on him 10 times harder, basically?
They're going to be doing research on him. It's not that I'm saying. I think the more that Fernandez has got more credence because I think Fernandez has had 2 seasons and he's been the best player out of the.
Sonny's got it right.
Both teams, you know what I mean. So that's fine. That's cool. But even though he's been relegated twice, that still is a problem for me. But then Somerville's had the same thing as well, but not in a row. But it's a creepy one. I think. I just think we need to have get players that have got less risk. I think at the moment. I
don't think there's many about Alex to do that with. And with Rob, what you've just said there, I don't know how nobody can claim not to be following him last season. He stepped up once Semenyo left. Fine. I don't watch as many Premier League games as I watch Serie A games. I follow Spurs through and through, watch every game hardcore. If I have to, I watch it in bloody American TV and everything. And I watch other Premier League games, but I watch more Serie A games than I actually do Premier League games. This is why I can say I've seen him play. But when you've seen someone play for 4 or 5 games, can you give him a fair assessment or a fair judgment? No, I can't. That's why I say the same with Fernandez. I've seen him play 5, 6 games, whatever. I mean, why the fuck would I want to watch West Ham last season on a regular basis? I know some people want to watch every game, each your own, whatever turns you on. But why the fuck would I want to watch West Ham? So I don't know enough about him to judge him fairly.
I agree with you, Dan. We don't watch, like, Bournemouth isn't exactly, let me throw on the Bournemouth game. I like to watch other games, but it's usually Liverpool, City, Arsenal. I watched West Ham games when they were in relegation battle with us because I wanted to see what happened. But I don't think it's like weird to say we didn't watch a ton of Bournemouth games last season. That seems to be pretty normal, right?
It just doesn't say. I mean, I know some people want to watch every game, so fair enough. But when I look at what's on the telly and I see, like, say, I don't know, a Bournemouth v West Ham, I must admit it doesn't exactly intrigue me too much. It doesn't exactly make me want to watch the game. Whereas I look at Serie A and it's a game of like Roma versus Inter. That game definitely pulls me over a bit more than Bournemouth versus fucking West Ham. But that's just me. So again, I can't really give either of them to a fair assumption on that. But the more I keep checking up on Fernandez and the more I've watched on him and stuff like that, the more I think we've got a fucking good player coming up. And now I'm going to hold you to this one, Ben. If he is not one of my favourite players by the end of the season, you are going to owe me a couple of fucking beers, mate, because we had a solid debate on this one for nearly an hour and a half on the phone.
I know your type of player, and I'm telling you, you will fall in love with Fernandez real quick.
I hope so.
Player. I'm telling you, buddy.
The thing is with Fernandez, he's been in 2 teams that there were lesser players around him. I mean, apart from Bowen and Somerville, really, for West Ham, who's there to really think of? I can't really think of top players at West Ham.
Can I just say what a scary prospect it is? Think about this just for a minute, boys. And this isn't dreamland. This is what's even scarier for me. Tonali, Fernandez, Leao, Krupi, Kudus. Oh, you're cooking. You're cooking.
I'm starting to think if I've been unplugged from the Matrix with all this going on.
Right?
That's true.
I'm checking the back of my neck for the spot.
Yeah.
It does. On paper, it will definitely. I mean, at the moment, I'll go to this one, before I've finished this. Well, I'm going to go to this one because I can't be bothered to talk about players we need to get rid of. I think we all know who we need to get rid of, I mean, for that one, it don't take fucking Einstein to work that shit out, I mean, seriously. I know some are going to say 1 or 2 shifts. Either way, there's a lot of players that need to fuck off there because you just do not want them.
Fucking wage thieves.
With what we've got at the moment, I made the first judgment before we got Tonali of I think 9th or 10th would be a solid season. And if you're going to be honest, 9th or 10th over the past 2 seasons would be significantly better. But now we have Tonali, Fernandes, Porro on the right, which I must admit I think is a complete waste of a player for the way we play him. But I'm hoping that De Zerbi has a plan for him to play him the right way as such, because Porro for me is just a complete waste of a player to what he's capable of. He is a shit defender and has proved it time and time again, but he's a fucking good wing back, yeah? Robertson on the left for me, because I think he's fucking better than, even though he's out a few years, I think he is significantly better than fucking Udogie. You can argue Spence on either of those positions as well. He had a great 15 minutes last night, but again, very patchy player. But either way, yeah, I'd personally go Porro, Robertson. You give me the choice, and then in the middle you've got Van der Ven and Van Hecke. Possibly two of the best ball playing defenders in the league. Do we agree with that one?
I think Senesi's up there with them two as
Yeah,
well.
Senesi's better than Van der Ven by a country mile.
But I'm saying who's in the first team. Senesi ain't going to take either way. Senesi ain't going to take Van der Ven's place.
No.
Well, I'd have Van der Ven out on the left wing back position like he does for Holland, and then I'd have Robertson as backup. I'd have Senesi and JP in the middle with Porro and Spence covering that wing.
But realistically, it's going to be Van der Ven and Van Hecke.
Yeah,
realistically, yeah. Because I think Romero, hopefully, he's going to fuck off. And then in the middle, you look at that with Tonali and Fernandes. Tonali is a ball winner. He's a fucking excellent deep line playmaker. And the thing is that he is one of those players. How do I describe him from what I remember him in Italy? I'm not talking about him in Newcastle. No, he's one of those players that is just as good off the ball, if not better off the ball, than he is on the ball. I know some people are going to struggle to understand that.
No, he's the best all-rounded, one of the best all-rounded midfielders in the Premier League.
No two ways about it. And I'm going to make another statement in a minute, yeah? People are going to have to hold me to this one, and I'm going to have to hold my grounds on this one, yeah? For me, Tonali, you got to play him deep. He will press forward. He will do his job. He can play box to box. He can play cam, but for me, he's a deep line playmaker.
Like he was at AC.
Like exactly that. Like they used to play Bentancur at Juventus, but he's obviously light years ahead of Bentancur, yeah? No two ways about that.
To get the best out of Tonali, you need him playing just in front of the defenders.
You need him playing deeper, yeah? And then Fernandes...
I completely disagree with that.
And then Fernandes can also play deep as well. I think we're going to be very pressing, but very counter at the same time. But then you look at who we've got out on the left and on the right. Okay, on the right, we've got Kudus. On number 10, we've got Maddison, who for me, he's only played half the games he can for... again, I've had this debate with people. Out of 148 games, he's played 78. And if we do remember, I rate Maddison, but does anybody actually remember Maddison's first season for us?
No.
No.
He was out injured most
well,
of it.
No. He was... Him and Basuma... For the first 10 games, 12 games, whatever it was, were fucking the best two midfielders in that league at the time. They were fucking excellent. And then they both fell off a cliff. Maddison as well. But Maddison, without doubt, is our number 10 and the most skillful we've got there. Simmons and that are injured, whatever else. So we've got lack of option on the left. We've got Kudus on the right and fuck all option up front. So at the moment with the team we've got, I'm saying that's a 7th or 8th. Because there's just no goals there. Where are you saying we are at the moment? Forget getting any strikers. With the team we have right now, where do you think we go? 6th or 7th, I think is my 7th. I'm going to go with 7th.
I would say 10th at best with like the strikers. So Tell and Solanke, give or say, is our and Kudos. I think 10th is the best we could hope for. I just think that's so few goals, and I like Maddison when he's on, but again, he's coming back from that major injury, and we saw when he came back. I know he'll have the whole summer to get ready, but he wasn't ready when he came back at the end of the season. Kudos coming back. So I would say if we don't get any attackers, we're looking at 10th.
I agree with that. And just to answer a quick question to their fourth, I know most people won't understand this, but Dan, what we getting first, Champions League or Fallout 5? Mate, we ain't going to get Fallout 5 till I'm about fucking 65, and that's easily 20 years, mate. It just ain't going to happen. Bethesda are just absolutely...
And with the way PlayStation are going, most PlayStation guys are going to go to Xbox because of digital media.
Yeah, either way.
Don't tell Dan that, he get upset. Don't tell Dan that.
Yeah, Xbox is a poor man's PlayStation. But either way, yeah, with that one, mate, we get Champions League light years before.
PlayStation's a poor man's PC.
Fuck off, cock.
I've got a gaming PC. So.
Yeah, baby.
So come on, keep going with where we are. I've said 7th. Scott says 10th. Come on, Alex. Where are we going to finish next season if we don't buy any other players with the team we have right now? Where do we finish?
9th. 9th at the moment.
Okay. And Ben, what's your take on it?
Yeah, mate. For me, I'm with Scott Amos in chat. I think around 8th. I mean, with the additions of Fernandez and Tonali. I mean, I see Tonali a bit different to you guys. I see him in the Premier League as an all-round great box-to-box player, and I see Fernandez as a tough tackling, deep-line playmaker more so than I see Tonali. But we just with those two alone, I mean, it revolutionises our midfield. You know, and you add Van Hecker to that. I'll stick with what Scott Amos said. I'll go with 8th at the moment.
So it looks like I'm the most positive one out of all of us. We're going with 7th then.
I'm between 7th and 10th.
We're not going to get into. At the moment, we need some attacking players, and I don't understand why people are talking like Kudos is fit. I don't understand that, because
I'm pretty sure he'll be fit enough to play by the time the season starts.
I keep saying about Porro is like his position. We could put him where Kudus is, put Kudus behind the striker, and then
I've said that
play it that way, and then put Spence as a right back. I mean, I've been saying Porro's been played out of position for the last 3 seasons, like you, Dan. I mean, I'm looking
Kudus
at Van.
Is no good as a number 10. He's been tried and tested there.
Put Kudus out on the left then. On the left, cutting in with his right foot. Ping, bang, bing, bang, boom. There you go. Van der Ven, I'd have him at left back because of his pace, and that's where he plays with Holland. Why go and get Senesi and Van Hecker if you're not going to play Senesi and Van Hecker?
We should be playing with a back 3.
We're not going to do that though, because we've been saying this for so many years. We're not going to do this though, because we've been saying this for so many years though, that like Poro's can we put Poro more forward or as a wing back? We never do it. We've never going to do it anyway. That's why I didn't want to sign him, give him a new contract and sell him.
But it is a new manager, Alex, and he might have a decent plan for Poro.
No, listen. It depends on what. I have to see it done. I've seen him for 3 years now, so I just haven't got the time to. I need to see it now, you know, because he's just been the same for the last 3 years, and the whole thing with Van der Ven being on the left as a left back, I think he's going to be the centre back. And it's either going to be Senesi or Van Heck. I think it's going to be more Van Heck, I think. On the left, I think it's going to be more. I think it's Robertson. I think Robertson's going to be in there for me. But I think it's just the attack. I think for me, that's where I think we're going to lose it at the moment. That's where my doubts is at the moment with what we're seeing at the moment. I think that's where I've got my doubt.
You have
to have goals, and the options that we've been presented with. I'm not sitting there saying, "Oh yeah, I'm really," you know what I mean. The Kudos thing for me, I think people are talking like he's already going to be fit, and I just think at the moment I'm not so confident at the moment because he's broken down a couple of times last season, didn't he? So,
but you can say that with Maddison as well. This is why I'm skeptical of.
Dan, you know I'm with you.
I want Maddison to be more looked on as a squad player Because after those two major injuries, and he is 30 and he is brittle, I don't want to have to rely on him as my number 10. But then we do have Simmons coming back, but we don't know how Simmons is coming back from that nasty ACL. That can change a player's career as well, can't we? I mean, look at when Bentancur got his first one. That totally fucked him up after that, didn't it? It is a nasty injury to come back from.
I think Bentancur before the injury and then after the injury is just two completely different players. I mean, like I said, I can literally sit here on this panel and say I know what a ruptured or a burst ACL is. I burst my ACL. There's a difference between a tear, a rip, and a burst. So
yeah, it's a snap basically, is what other people call it. It's when you
I
snap it.
burst
It's
my
basically where you
motherfucker.
snap
So,
it.
yeah,
I think
But
we
like-
need
That's
three
one thing.
attackers coming in. I think we need
Go on,
somebody. I think we need the left wing starter, the striker, and I think we need a third attacker that can cover ideally the right wing and the 10, so that if Kudos needs time to come back, if Madison is out, I think we need more. I agree with Corey. Well, I think we need two left wings, two strikers, but realistically, I think we need our left wing starter, striker starter, and I think we need a depth player that could cover both that right wing and 10 because of Kudos and because of Madison not being reliable and because Simmons is out until at least January, if not longer, right? So,
and how long does it take to come back from a 7-month injury like a fucking ACL?
you don't want him to come in and say, "Okay, now we need you 90 minutes." Go.
It's not going to happen. It's just not going to happen.
Just Scott, I was on. Remember we were on the show. I think it was on a Saturday, right? Saturday night, and one person said to me about Kulusevski. Oh, he's going to come back. You can't. Was it rate him off? You can't just dismiss him. And I was like, well, you don't know what he's going to be like coming back from injury. And I was like, what planet are we on here?
I don't think
You
you
know
can
what I mean?
plan on Kulusevski being part of your team next year.
You
If he is,
can't.
that's an added bonus, but you cannot have him penciled in anywhere.
No, you can't. Can you?
we got to get rid of the sentimentality of him. He's a great player, yes, but that injury is done, Kulu. If he ever touches grass
I
again
think so.
at a higher level, I'll be very surprised.
Well,
I was gonna show
he has
somebody
been
that-
training and that. But the thing is with Kulusevski is, fine, you can never say never as such with it. But I think it's a very fair assumption when the majority of people turn around and say he ain't never going to be able to play football to the standards that he did play. Those injuries, both of them, were absolutely fucking savage.
Well, he's starting to get over it, didn't he? And then he relapsed. So that's what's kept him out.
Two separate main injuries he's got where they're basically saying you can only heal one injury at a time.
One's a bone injury and one's a muscular within inside of the bone, isn't it? Like where it sits. It's very, very complex injury that he's got from like double whammy because it's literally hindered him from coming back properly because he started to get over the bone injury, which was looking promising. Then boom, he went to train and then crunch, there goes the muscle. So it's like
But look, the long and short of it is,
the same as R9.
But long and short of it is, because without getting into the medical side of things, is like it's not going to be straightforward. But when I was on the show with one person, it's like, oh, you don't know, and I was like, well, he's been out for so long now. It's a serious injury that he's coming back from. You cannot just rely on this guy to come back. You can't. So for me, the whole point I'm saying at the moment is that you need to go and get somebody that's going to be able to. And I think we're going to. Long and short of it is, I think we're going to be struggling to score goals next season because
unless we get people in.
Yeah, well, unless we get people in, but the problem is that they're going to have to hit the ground running. I think the problem is that because our attackers are so rubbish right now, right? So rubbish right now. You know, you're now relying on people to come in and just hit the ground running. That's not very easy to do in this league. You get what I'm saying? You normally want somebody that's already been at the club that can like ride the wave for the start of the season while they're settling in. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. But at the moment, we've not even got that at the moment. So for me, at the moment, and with the options we're linked with at the moment, I'm not looking at it and saying we're going to be hot property scoring goals. One thing I will say, defensively, other than Kinski right now, right, I would say we look cool. You know what I mean? Because like, but the other stuff, I'm not sitting there looking at it and saying, oh, you know what? yeah, I feel like we're cooking. You know what I mean? That's what I'm saying at the moment. But we cannot rely. What really what I'm saying is we cannot rely on Javi Simmons, Maddison, Kulusevski, Kudos to get us out of trouble at the start of the season. We cannot, with the injuries that they've just had. We need other players to step up. That's the point I'm making at the moment.
I mean,
And I'm looking
even
at
even if Kudus is fully fit, I'm sorry, for me, he's not a goal scorer. And if you get 10 goals out of him in a season, he's had a fucking excellent season. He's not a goal scorer. Kudus is not an out-and-out goal scorer.
But Dan, you can't say that though. You can't say that though, Dan, because because he's been out for so long now. People make up what he can do, what he really he can't do, and think that they've seen him do it, but that he can't do it. You know what I mean? You get what I'm saying? So this is where I'm a bit like, we've got to be real here. We've got to be real here. You know what I mean? So because even Solanke, for instance, Dad, can you rely on him to stay fit the whole season?
Even if he does stay fit, can you rely on him to score fucking goals?
No.
Well, there's a reason why Liverpool and Chelsea binned off Solanke, because he's fucking terrible. Let's not kid ourselves here. One good season at Bournemouth and we got mugged off.
There we go. It goes to the exact point again just before I end this. One good season or 5 good games, and Spurs fans very easily change their opinion. You know?
But you can't do that, Dan.
Very easily change.
Don't reply to him.
You can't do that, Dan, because if you do that, you're the most evil person in the world. You're the most evil person in the world. You know what I mean? You can't say anything. You know what I mean?
Being good, Alex. I want to be evil. Being a fucking prick is more nice and is better than being fucking nice. Anyway, I'm going to say thanks for you lot coming on. Thanks for everyone else who came on. Mia, Ellie, Danalist. Have I missed anyone? I don't think so. My memory ain't great.
Wait, hang on.
Names.
I just got on X. Understood Tottenham have held talks with Rafael Leao. This is literally in the last 2 minutes, the last 24 hours.
What source?
Spurs have remained in constant contact with Rafael Leao's representatives during the last 24 hours and are continuing to explore possibilities of signing him.
So who said this?
On X.
Who said this? Hold on, I want to hear this.
It just randomly come up on my phone.
Yeah, but that's X for you. I mean, X does speak some bullshit at the same time as well.
That thing.
Who's the guy who posted it? What's the name of the guy who posted it?
The handle is KRRISH.
Yeah.
Oh, Kush.
We just leave
Kush.
Yeah, he to be fair, he has actually semi-reliable. He not so much this season, but he is actually kind of credible.
There's been no contact yet, but the decision
out of all the ones
on
mentioned, I do think Raphael, I think he's the one that will happen out of all of them. But again, thanks for everyone watching tonight. It's been different, emotional, I think I shall say. Anyway, everyone, have a good night, and we'll be on again soon enough. And thanks for everyone for watching. Thanks to all the guests. Thanks for everyone coming on, and we'll catch up with everybody very soon. Have a good night.
Gotta do it hella big, had to run it back again.